the red room and get a drink or two more, and then we'll
Okay.
be exposed to the world.
I'll share the link.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, we should be live right now. Cool.
Cool.
All right.
All right. What up, Mo man?
Hello.
What up, monkey's uncle?
Got all your stuff straightened out, Manny? Hello.
Uh-oh. Can we? Hey, Manny. I don't know if you can hear us.
Maybe not. Manny, can you hear us? Oh, still issues.
Hmm.
All right. So we got Jaden and Manny are going to be dropping back in any minute now, and
Yeah.
had some technical problems. We're about to kick off episode 105. As I told Robbie, I've been wearing a hat all afternoon, so I'm just going to keep a hat on.
You're a man of many hats.
Yep. We've got Jaden joining. Let's see if it works this time.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
To change my name.
That's all good.
I was gonna add a quick thing right quick. I had to sign out, and for some reason, there's 2 levels that you have to sign in on. I don't know. It's weird, but I thought I was signed in. Yeah, there we go.
Everything's getting too complicated.
There we go.
Oh, perfect. I edited our post to include the number, but yeah, it's good. Good stuff.
It's hard to get callers these days. Nobody calls anybody anymore.
They're afraid.
I bet if I put my
Or
cell phone number
uninterested.
on here, I'd get dick pics.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I'm actually not opposed to, maybe it's gay, but I don't mind dick pics. I think they're hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
not
just
like
opened it up. Majee's
Yeah.
already on it. I'm going to get a fucking dick pic days.
You know,
Yeah.
as long as you don't act on it, you're fine. Perfectly normal.
I don't know if maybe I should save it for the pod, but did I ever tell y'all the story about how me and my friend tried to, in a friendly way, we tried to out gay each other for years? White people like gay stuff. We can't help it.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
I consider
Yeah,
myself white, by the way. I don't know what you
white women love gay stuff. It's yeah.
Yeah, well, they like it.
That's what it was back in the 80s when I was growing up. It's like, it seemed like all the white moms were fascinated with gay men.
Well, they like gay in a serious way. Like they adore gay.
I thought they liked, oh yeah. Oh, okay.
See, I like gay.
I thought you meant
silly
it in
way.
like what was the guy? There was like a guy, I got to be careful because I don't want to out myself, but his name was Meshack Taylor or something like that. There was a show that was huge in the 80s, 90s called Designing Women.
Oh,
yeah.
the black dude.
Yeah. We're like crazy.
Who?
I think he was also the saxophonist for Bruce Springsteen.
No.
Was that Delta Burke?
Yeah.
She was one.
That fucking.
That, or I'm thinking about Major Dad. Remember Major Dad? Wasn't?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they were the same show. Designing Women and Major Dad.
Also Coach. Those
Yeah, I watched Coach reruns for a while. I went through a Coach phase.
Funny. Yeah, I forget the other guy's name. Not Craig T. Nelson, not Dauber, but
it's Dick Van Dyke's brother, right?
Oh yeah, Jerry Van Dyke.
Jerry Van Dyke.
But Dauber was fascinating to me because it's just like, I wonder if people this dumb can actually get jobs.
Yeah,
well,
I guess they can.
If those retarded vultures from Looney Tunes were a person, that guy, because he's just like, oh.
Dude,
yeah.
He got Patrick from SpongeBob.
That's the ultimate. Yeah, that's the ultimate. Like they hired a literal moron, to be like an assistant coach for a major football team.
Hey guys, hey coach.
Just because he was one of the boys.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny? Have you ever seen that movie, The Stand?
Oh yeah, he's in it. He plays yeah.
Doesn't he play like a dumb guy too?
He plays like a half a retard. Like,
yeah, there you go.
He's
Typecast.
literally deaf and dumb, which somehow dumb, I guess, is that the term that they used to use for you can't talk?
I think dumb is yes, cannot talk, or is that mute? I don't.
I thought. I mean, it is.
Like if you're a deaf, dumb mute, that means you can't talk or make sounds. I guess mute is more like you can't make any sounds.
Yeah, well, he would walk around. At least from what I remember, I never watched that whole movie, and I don't think y'all did either.
No, I didn't. I think that was like a scary movie. I've only seen like 2 or 3 scary movies in my life.
It was 4 parts, and they were like 2 hours long or something. It was like an 8-hour movie. which is kind of cool, but not also.
I can imagine in my mind the TV commercials that played all the time leading up to it. Because it was like a huge Stephen King thing.
Yeah, Monkey's Uncle saying
Actor.
mute
Yeah.
equals dumb. Yeah, I remember them saying that. And
Same
even when I
thing.
was little, I was like, I feel like mute needs a better publicist. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
just calling him dumb. But anyway, the point was he's in coach, and they're like, yeah, you didn't look dumb enough. We're going to actually make you dumb.
Yeah, we're gonna give you a child's haircut as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give him one of those dunce caps. Or no, not the dunce caps, the one with the little helicopter propeller
Yeah.
thing. Oh, God.
It's awesome to think that dunce caps were once a thing. I hope. Well, I hope they were. Right. I guess the only research I've done is I've seen Saturday morning cartoons where someone was made to wear a dunce cap, but I wonder
Oh.
if
I think they were. I remember back in I think third grade. I still remember vividly. The teacher's assistant, told the teacher, maybe we should give the kids a dunce, or make a dunce hat for the kids. And I remember the teacher just shooting it down. I probably would have got it, but I do remember that.
Yeah.
I wonder if it is a real thing, if like that's when like serial killers started, when they started like singling out dudes. Be like,
Yeah,
because as a dude, of course, be like that was acting out, and be like, you sit in the corner with a dunce cap on, everybody's gonna mock you and ridicule you for hours every day. And then it's like, oh, that's exactly when serial killers started.
Yeah, I don't know if the dunce cap was a thing. I know that. What about the the giant like little Bo Peep hook thing? Whatever.
Oh yeah, to get people off the stage.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. They're not strong enough to fuck that. I break that fucking thing. They can't.
Maybe there was a brief period in time in the olden days when stand-up comedy clubs were just starting, but there were also a lot of shepherds. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
like if you were a shepherd, like you would do that at night, or you would do that during the day, but at night you were like a stagehand at a comedy club.
Yeah, because they're just laying around.
Just a small window in time in like the 1870s.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this guy a favor and fucking take out his legs. That's the best part of his act, is him getting dragged flailing off the stage.
Where can we find someone that has a huge crook stick?
Oh, I was about to say, before you finished that sentence, I was like, I got your guy right here. You know what I'm saying?
A huge crooked elbow.
The other day, oh God, what was I saying? The beginning of the sentence was it was a totally harmless sentence, but the beginning part of the sentence was black people don't matter. And then the second part of a sentence was like something totally innocent. They don't.
Sure.
It was something like, it was like black people don't matter of factly say this, except there was a pause. I goes, black people don't matter of factly say this. And the person I was sitting with, I just saw him. It was Dylan, actually. I was sitting with Dylan and his wife, basically his wife, and they both just looked at me, and their faces I just saw their faces kind of go, not white, but like gray, and they're just like, and then I said what I said, and they're like, oh, you saw them get, how you can see somebody visibly give a sigh of relief. It wasn't audible, but I could just see it in I saw their eyes.
You'd feel the tension. Really. Yeah.
And
well, I once said to an old lady that I like dicks because in public, in front of a bunch of people, because I was a cashier in my younger years. I was a cashier, and this old lady during the back to school season was asking where it was a good store to find backpacks. And it was by the mall. And I was like, there's a Dick's Sporting Goods. She's like, you think that's better than Academy? And I was like, I like Dick's Sporting Goods. They have a good, and I was like, they have a good variety of, backpacks. Yeah.
Chris is like that.
I said that out loud, and I was like, wow, I just said that.
Chris is like that kid. Remember, I like turtles, but he's like, I like dicks.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video?
This lady set me up.
Yeah. Screw those old ladies.
Dick's is expensive. I don't know if it always was like that. There's one by like where I used to live, and I went there for like I was gonna get. Oh God.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Dick's is expensive. Like pretty much like all the Columbia stuff is kind of expensive.
Yeah, they should have a
Like
place.
they're pretty proud of their stuff.
They should have a place called Pussy's that's more expensive
You
and
know, like,
also annoying.
well, it's cheaper. It's like I want to look like I do a lot of stuff outdoors, but the clothes don't need to last that long. You know what I mean? Like I need a fishing shirt that looks like I'm a rugged outdoorsman, but it can be Old Navy quality and just fall apart after I wash it 3 times.
If we could, is that what Old Navy's known for? I mean, I know
I don't know. I haven't.
jeans,
Yeah, I haven't worn
But
anything
I-
from there for a long time, but yeah, it was at least, yeah. Like
It was like the butt of the jet.
this is a
You remember-
one season t-shirt for $8.
Oh, for sure.
I think Ace has even talked about it. Didn't Audis used to be like the car Audi?
Yeah, Audis used to kill kids. Like indiscriminately. I got some kids trying to bust down my door right now. But
Speaking
yeah,
of
like
kids.
when I was in high school, like
Hop
the
in your Audi and fucking. No.
yeah, Audis would just like run over kids like willy-nilly.
Wow.
Lose like like something went wrong, like the brakes wouldn't work, or like just like shoot in reverse
Yeah,
in someone's driveway. Yeah.
I
They rejuvenated their brand.
well, that's what I was gonna say. I don't remember the whole baby killing thing, but I don't. I remember. I feel like it was right around the movie. What was that movie with Robert De Niro in like '96? It was like right after he did Heat. I think it was called Ronin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Badass
yeah.
Audi. It was a mediocre movie. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but
I never seen it. I know there's
I
a good car
frickin-
chase scene, right?
I'll deal with that because of all the car chase scenes and like the Audis and like
yeah,
those
they had
like
badass
street.
Audis.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking that when I was little, I was like, I thought Audis were fucking pieces of shit. And I was like, why do I want that car?
I think like 3 out of 10 off the assembly line were badass machines, and the other 7 were just, like 5 of them would just fall apart and 3 would run over your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those were the
That's
stats.
not a
in,
bad
like,
ratio.
87. Yeah.
I grew up riding in Pintos.
My mom had a Chevy Impala that I think back now, and it literally just felt like a tin shell with like plastic cushion seats, like spring cushion seats.
Oh, spring could. Oh my God.
Anyway, I should
still spring?
start. I don't know if we should start or wait for Manny or what, or just like kick this episode off so it's this is it. This episode has begun.
Well, I mean, all you got to do is add an intro. That's what I used to always do. If we ever started and it just got good. Not that not that this is like riveting stuff here.
I'm riveted.
Hot spring cushion seats.
Well, old cars you grew up in. Yeah, that's like.
Yeah. Is anything spring cushioned anymore? I feel like that is a fucking poor man's game.
I don't think so, man. I've got this Toyota minivan, and like one of the seats, I had to like fix one of the seats, and it's just like a bunch of compressed, foam and weird plastic cords that hold things in place that come out of place and are impossible to get back into place. And they didn't, just.
You're still pimping that minivan, huh?
Hell yeah. Man.
I heard, I like what I heard about it.
Okay.
I'm not personally a minivan guy, but I could see why they would be.
Oh, it's just so
practical.
convenient.
Yeah. It is.
I've been in that minivan with Addie driving up front.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Addie was driving.
Addie drove your car?
Yeah.
That was a hectic night.
That's a ballsy move.
OKC.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Oh, hey, how you doing?
That's Jaden and Robbie. Can you get
Call into the show?
Hey, young lady.
Yeah. they can't dial a phone yet, but yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Say good night.
What's your favorite number?
They can't hear you, thankfully.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
They can count to 50.
I feel like I don't know what it is. I do know what it is. You know how? So you were talking about Impalas. Why is
the
it
old? We're talking like a '76 Impala.
Well, yeah, no, that's even better. That too, but
when they were good, like now it's like.
Well, they had a. I don't. Are they still around? Are there still
Yes.
Impalas? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, like new models, they still make those.
I think in the last 5 years, they tried to bring it back, but it's just like a run of the mill sedan. Like it doesn't. Doesn't stand out at all.
Yeah, well, I've always wondered why. Like, did you ever notice that ghetto people they they made ugly, lame cars like cool? I get to them. I don't know. I never. So you
Mm-hmm.
got because you got. I don't know if Fat Pat was a thing where y'all. Oh, by the way, Monkey's uncle. How do we sound? What's the sound like? Does it sound better? Wasn't that who was breaking our balls? Rightfully so.
1, 2,
Wait,
3,
I
4.
feel like our levels are a little better, but like people like maybe it's just a Houston thing, but the song, "Want to Be a Baller," shot caller, 20-inch Spades on the Impala.
Yeah.
The Impala that
Who
he's
sang that?
described, I I think it was Fat Pat. I don't know.
It wasn't there. Isn't there a Project Pat?
I would have said CeeLo. CeeLo Green.
I feel like you're both pretty close. You're close
Back
enough.
when, but he was someone else before.
Who,
Wasn't
Fat
CeeLo
Pat?
Green? CeeLo Green was someone else.
Wasn't it Pastor Troy? There you go.
Let's stick with Fat Pack.
Oh no,
Fat
little
Pat.
Troy. Little
Oh,
Troy.
never mind.
Yeah, Fat Pat sang the chorus on Little Troy's most popular song. But either way, they're talking about Impalas and I don't know, like what are some of those other cars that they would drive? Seriously, it got
Crown Vics, maybe might be
yeah,
one of
Crown
them.
Vics, but it would just be your grandma's car with the springs loose, with the suspension
Yeah.
loosened, and spoke rims.
Not because it was good, but because that's what you could get.
Yeah,
and
because that's what got handed down.
make
And
make the most
at
of.
a certain point, it got like it caught, I guess. I don't know, to them. And then I'm just sitting here. I was like, really? It looks like you're just driving your fucking grandmother's hand me down, and you still those rims. You didn't pay for those rims. That much I know. Hey, by
At
the way,
least.
I just found out. I had maybe the whitest moment I've ever had in my life. I asked a waitress.
You got let off a DWI?
No, that actually has happened to me before. I feel like I don't look as white as I am on the inside. Either way,
You could play it both ways. You could confuse an officer. But yeah, go
if I
ahead.
get too much sun, people start talking like the fast Spanish.
Yeah.
I can speak some Spanish, but they come
Yeah.
at me. Slow down, bitch.
And they're like,
I'm wearing a fucking Looney
goal!
Tunes shirt or
Yeah.
NBA Jam or whatever. Wait, is that what it's called? No, Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Yeah. By the way, don't sleep on NBA Jam. That game's badass. They should bring it
Oh,
back.
hell
That
yeah.
was a good game, yeah.
But
Acclaim.
I had the widest. Yeah, Acclaim was badass.
Yep.
Isn't that who made NFL Blitz too?
Probably.
Or no? Either way, I the other day we were at brunch, which is already wide enough.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
really?
you're there.
And
You're like a 99 already.
Oh,
I
come
asked,
on.
I'm about to put it over the top. I'm about to fucking do an NBA Jam dunk on that whiteness. But they, I was with Dylan and his white wife, who are whiter than I am, like on the inside and outside. And we were asking the waitress what, because you know how they say, I was asking her, I was like, I swear to God, this is what I said. I was like, what does it mean when you're draped up and dripped out? And then I found
Okay.
myself Googling. Yeah, see, Chris is confused. That's why I know. I found myself. I came to
Mhm.
in my whiteness realization, Googling draped up and dripped out. I was like in Urban Dictionary. I'm like, well, what does it mean? And I'm like, fofos, I'm tipping wood grain, I'm grading, you know. And I'm like reading.
My first, I spent like, you saw me like I spent like almost a second and a half thinking, should I know, like, is this obvious? Should I know this? Or should I pretend like I know this? Or, like what's an appropriate reaction to?
I think I
drink up
have
and
know that.
dripped?
Isn't that like a
I don't
good-
know it.
You're wearing a cool fit, a cool outfit.
I'm not clear on the drip stuff.
Well,
I've heard,
see, it's okay. See, this is where the conversation gets even. I was trying to set my phone.
is that you have money, but you have steady money? Is that what drip is?
I know,
or is it you have so much money that's dripping off you? Like, it's hard to keep up.
There's lots of different ways this can go. What we found out is in our internet search was that what I thought it was, or what we all thought it was what is it, like draped up? Like I was saying that like jewelry draping.
Okay. Yeah. Clothes. Like, yeah.
And then you're dripping with ice.
Oh, like there's a liquid, like ice. Okay. Liquid. Yeah.
And that's what we all kind of agreed. And that's what the waitress thought too. Granted, she was Asian. I didn't think she knew what the fuck she was talking. But either way, what we found out in our Google search was candy. What they're talking about is it draped up is like fancy interior in your car.
Oh, specifically in your car.
Specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though that is not, that was like, from what I always thought it was, that is so fucking far. So granted, I didn't have that many conversations where somebody's explaining to me how draped out they are. I feel like they have happened. I'm from Houston, obviously, but that I did not see that coming. Now, dripped out means like candy coated, like candy, like shiny paint that looks like it's almost wet. Like it's so glossy it looks like it's wet.
Okay.
So you're dripped out.
Very specific.
So when you're draped up and dripped out, that is that's referring to your nice vehicle.
Your ride. Your whip, as some,
yeah.
As Rob's people would call it.
He Monkey's uncle makes a good point. I wish I could call him by his name. I don't know who the fuck that is, but he I feel like y'all do. Robbie's over there smirking. Maybe he knows.
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
No.
He said those were the only cars that they could afford. Same reason soul food is the food that it is. I've never. What is this is how white I am. I've never even had soul food.
All I know is like jambalaya, right? It's like a mix.
That's Cajun.
Yeah, no, Rob.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
So I've had soul food, but it was like in the context of me and my office mates specifically went out of our way to go to a soul food place because we saw it was good on Yelp.
Did you ask them if they were? Did you ask them what it meant to be draped?
I walked in there all like, "What do we do here?" Like
hoity-toity.
Like, you just order food, you dumbasses.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard hoity-toity?
But it's good.
I don't think I've ever said that in my fucking life.
I don't know.
I just went up to my whiteness level.
I think it's pretty good. Thought is one that I have to admit I had to Google search like the first 6 times I heard it, even though like it was always explained to me what that means. Thought, THOT, right?
Yeah.
You guys know what this means?
That means a thick.
That hoe over there.
Oh.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's the thing. Like it would be told to me and I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. It's the hoe over there. THOT. But then like the next time I'd hear it, I'd be like, there's some kind of thickness thing to this, like the TH.
Yeah. My ex-girlfriend was a hoe in rehab, so I called her an afterthought.
But anyway, but now I know what it is and I don't have to Google it. So when I tell other white people like what it means and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, and I act like I've always known and they're stupid.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Like,
oh, you didn't know what? Oh
yeah.
Watch me meet somebody. If I met somebody in fucking 5 minutes and they didn't know what draped up and
like, you're not from the streets, are you?
Fucking shame them in a fucking.
You're gonna find a reason to mention dripping and dropping and
I'd be like,
technically, I'm not from the streets. I grew up in a court.
Cul-de-sac.
That's a street.
It wasn't a street. It was a court, but it's like it's a street.
Yeah,
it's a type of street.
A court is always a cul-de-sac, right? And a place.
Well, I think a cul-de-sac it has to be a circle. This court was more like a U shape. You know what I mean? So I don't think we could call it a cul-de-sac.
Oh, okay.
I live in a drive now. A drive. I've moved up.
Yeah,
I've moved up in the world.
Yeah, like you live on a mountain vista, drive.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think of the worst place to live. The Cosby Show took place on a boulevard, so that's good, right?
Well, just like Dave Chappelle, I'm obviously from San Francisco. We have the Tenderloin district area. It's called the Tenderloin, and he said there's nothing tender about the Tenderloin. So many crackheads and everything. Yeah, Tenderloin.
Wait, it's called the tender. Wait,
It's called the Tenderloin. Everyone calls it the Tenderloin. That's what it's called. Crackheads all over the place. Literally, you can't walk down the sidewalk because they're taking it all up by tents, drugs, and people sleeping on there and all that stuff.
Why was it called Tenderloin in the first place? The shape, or is that like a meat packing district?
You know what?
Like like actual meat. Like actual beef products to be sold in grocery stores.
Well, back in the day, from what I gather, the name Tenderloin itself can be traced back to New York police captain who once. Oh, never mind.
Fuck that. They're trying to take credit for everything all the time.
Yeah. I'll have to look it up.
But name New York is not even like a real. You took a name from another city, another country.
Yeah. Yeah. So Monkey's uncle is saying chitlins, greens, all those stuff white people don't want to buy. I thought chitlins and collard greens, I thought those were the same thing. Are they not?
No, chitlins are
like white I am. I'm like
chitlins is basically, I think, pig intestines. No, it's pig intestines cut up into like little squares, rectangles, and then they're deep fried. They can be like sauteed, I think deep fried, because that's what there's a Spanish word like Cameron, like what are those fried
shrimp?
No, like there's like a snack food that's sold at grocery stores.
Oh,
Cimarrone. It's just like pork
fat. Sort of like pork rinds.
It's a chitlin. It's a chitlin that's just deep fried, I think.
Oh, chicharrones.
That's it.
Yeah, chicharrones. That's pork rinds.
Yeah, pork rinds.
Yeah.
Yeah, like pork rinds. I think that's like chitlins, or like pork skin that's just like thrown in a deep fryer that just, it like hits the oil and just kind of explodes into like a crispy treat.
See, I always thought that pork rinds and pork skins were the same thing. Are they not?
Well, with me, there's always a chance that I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I think chitlins, it's specific to it's the intestines. So I think I saw a Food Network show where they were cleaning it out, it was like more like a hunting documentary where they were cleaning it out and then cutting it up. I don't know. Rob, are you Googling, or what are you doing?
I was still looking for Tenderloin.
He's trying to figure it out. Yeah, well, while he's doing that, I'll explain to you what fofos I'm tipping would be ripping.
Whoa. Okay, I've never even heard that before.
So, is it? That's what it is, right, Rob? For sitting on fofos.
Sitting on fofos.
So the Monkey's uncle says they're the same, I believe anything he says. So if Monkey's uncle says it's true, it's true.
What's the same?
Moving on. Fofos I'm tipping, wood grain I'm gripping.
Wood grain.
Fofos, is that like the number 4, or is that or is it like fools? Like you're a foe. Like what up, foe?
No,
I don't think
so.
That word.
What up, foes?
It's referring to apparently a rim that's called an 84. 84s. So
so it is the number. Okay.
But I just want to go back in time and explain to them 8 and 4 are 2 different numbers. So I don't know why they call them fofos, but they say sitting on fofos I'm tipping, which means they're like, I guess, making it hop and like.
My dad used to say the same thing when we go to 84 Lumber on the weekends to pick up some decking supplies.
We're going to fofos.
You ever heard of 84 Lumber? Is that?
Yeah, well, it used to be called Furrows, right? Or at least where I was.
I'm not sure. When I grew up, it was 84 Lumber, and then it got replaced by like the Home Depot and Lowe's.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what happened. Well, I know that. Actually, I haven't seen an 84 Lumber in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That was one of those. That was one of those places where. And what Home Depot is now, I used to hate going there when I was little because it was boring. I wanted to go to fucking Toys R Us and not get anything. Somehow
Now I yearn for the days where where there was a store that would just sell, lumber to direct to consumers without trying to sell me a $3 energy drink at the checkout counter.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it smelled like lumber. Oh, that was
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a place called Furrows back where I'm from in
It sounds kind of familiar. Yeah.
Texas. Yeah, I can see the fucking sign to this day. I still remember it, but they changed it to 84 Lumber. But they sold a lot more than lumber. It was like one of those places you would go and remember how they had the door displays. That was the coolest part of it. They had the door displays where it was just a fuck ton of doors. Just right next to each other.
Just open them all up.
All the doors. You're like, it's fucking awesome. That's what I would do the whole time.
That's like a modern day Lowe's. I take my kids to Lowe's and we go down the shower stall aisle. Mm-hmm. They're just like, oh, look at this. Can we get this one? Like what? They're just getting in and out of shower stalls in the aisle. Yeah.
Okay, guys, tenderloin. So it can be traced back to New York police, Captain. There's different tenderloins in the country, but who once insinuated that he could afford a tenderloin steak because of all the bribes he extracted on his beat. So I guess many areas are known as a tenderloin, and it's areas of vice and illegal activity. And San Francisco is one of them. So I guess that's where it comes from. But it's a very dirty, it's the worst part of the city. Yeah, it's bad. Don't go there.
Is all of San Francisco still a fucking flaming piece of shit?
Not all of it, but no, I'm going to say half of it. Yeah, half.
What's hilarious is that's where Full House took place.
Yeah, that area I think is still nice. You will drive up some.
Yeah, because that house is $30 million.
Oh, for sure.
It'd be awesome if they had a the shot from outside. Like what do they call it? The establishing shot.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like 5 tents and a hobo getting a blowjob. Like she's like dropping a deuce in the middle of the fucking street. Fucking smoking crack while he does
it's crazy. When I came up to visit you, Robbie, and it's been several years now, but man, that shit was,
yeah, didn't y'all make love on the rooftop or something?
Yeah, we did.
It was a little rough to be calling make love. Yeah, it's fine. But
I made hate.
When I go to these West Coast cities or these cities like that, you hear all these things and then you see it for yourself. I'm like, wow, it's just not exaggerating at all. Yeah, because I drove down roads, streets coming to you where they're all the cars on the streets are Audis and Teslas and all that shit. But there's tents and bums and boxes, and then in a nice townhouse that someone paid a lot for.
Oh, for sure.
But there'd just be a tent and a bum on the street, right next to a Tesla, just taking a dump.
He's next to. There's an old Audi on the right side, a new Audi on the left side. That's how versatile they are.
Yeah.
No, I always did they film? They didn't really. This is my mind.
I think so. Full House.
Yeah, they did that shit in L.A.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, correct. Yep.
What's the deal? What's the deal? I don't know why. What's going on? Didn't they find? Isn't there breaking news on Bob Saget or something? I read a headline and didn't do any research, but I was hoping maybe y'all knew something about.
You didn't do any research? That's right up my alley. Yes. Yes. No, I don't know. It's hard to know these days because there's two sides. I'm just sitting in the middle, laughing at everybody, but there's two sides and every side wants to believe something really bad. We'll just believe anything. Even if multiple coroners are just no, I've been doing this for 50 years. I'm willing to sign my name that this is kind of a, standard injury. If one crackpot's oh no, my uncle died from this. And it was, that's all it takes for some kind of crazy conspiracy theory to go on. But I don't know.
That's because
it looks like he died from head trauma, but they're still saying that they don't know how he obtained that head trauma.
Because he was in bed.
Yeah.
What could happen is your family member dies in a tragic way. You do what's natural, which is you don't leave them lying on the bathroom floor under the toilet.
You don't speak for yourself.
Well, to each his own. To each his own. but the you like probably in a very inelegant way, you put that person in their bed, right?
Yeah.
And then you call the police, and then you call an attorney, and the attorney's just like, don't say a thing to anybody. Like, it doesn't matter that it's innocent. It doesn't matter. Just like, don't say anything to anybody. So that kind of right there, that creates a mystery.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like really like, wow, it's really weird how silent they're being. They're not saying anything. It's like, what do you expect these people to say? Like, well, first I took my dad and he was limp. So I slung him up on my shoulder, and then I dropped him once. And then the dog started licking him. And then I put him on his bed, and then we put his hands together, and they made him all peaceful, and then took a picture. Like, what do you expect people to say in that situation?
Yeah, he. For what I read earlier, it was saying that his head trauma was similar to what you would see if somebody got hit with a baseball bat or fell 20 or 30 feet and landed on their head. Now, I don't know how that happens, and I'm not like a huge conspiracy theory guy, but it is a little weird. Is it me, or has a lot of people been dropping dead of just like either heart stuff?
Yes.
A lot of comedians, especially, but yeah.
There's a weird thing in the in sports. I don't know, especially in soccer, international soccer, football.
Young athletes.
Yeah, athletes like dropping. Now, then people will also come out and debunk it and be like, look, this has been happening, but it's just never been like before COVID and vaccinations and all that kind of controversy. Like, this would happen, and everybody was very interested in making it go away as fast as possible. Like, so it wouldn't really hit the news, because the team didn't want to let people know that someone collapsed. The player didn't want to know. The agent of the player didn't want them to know, because that's like huge money, to like think that someone might have a damaged heart valve or something. Like, everything was hush hush. But then when like COVID and the media and like all the vaccinations and like just craziness, they're saying that this has always been happening and it's happening at the same rate, but every time it does happen now, it's like, oh, they were vaxxed. It's like, I'm not really sure what to believe. Again, kind of like a lot of hysteria out there.
Who was it that maybe we talked about this last time. I don't remember who I talked to anything. I don't remember who I talked to about anything anymore. So I'm just going to preface everything with, was this y'all I talked to?
I talked to a lot of people about a lot of stuff, and
I used to fucking play free safety. I got fucking brain damage, but either way, if I don't know, I think that there's a slight cover up. I would say if the small conspiracy theorist bones that I have in my body, there's a little bit of a thing where they're trying to suppress this sort of information.
I think for sure.
Well, a lot of it is for sure, but I think it's even more than that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm not really, I'll be honest. I'm not one that would be hard to convince of something like that, because maybe that's just my natural stance is open, but also like, a little skeptical. So I think whenever, let's say you took like, how many humans are on the planet? Like 6 billion? I don't know.
I think it's closer to 7.5.
Okay. It was a nice job putting the 0.5 in there. So it's like,
well,
you went 7 and I was like, he's full of shit. And you said 0.5 and I was like, he's an expert.
Yeah.
Just because the number has always been 7 billion. So okay. I have to imagine that's risen by 0.5.
If you took 7 billion people on the planet, let's just say like 3 billion or, 1 billion people that got vaccinated. And you said, you took 1 billion people and you said, all of a sudden tomorrow, I want you to eat Cool Ranch Doritos for a week. Like a certain percentage of that billion people would be really fucked up in like a month, because that you're like introducing something foreign to their bodies. So like, to me, it's like, it's kind of like you inject this many people with something foreign to their body. Like there's going to be a reaction, good or bad, like, or natural, nefarious, cover it, whatever. There's going to be a reaction. So what was fishy to me the whole time was like the fact that like, they're like trying to pretend like there is no reaction. It's like, no. You take that many people and you put something in that many people. If you tell me there's a 2% reaction, I believe you. If you tell me there's a 0% reaction, I'm like, oh, you're a liar. It's probably like 20. Like that's bullshit. So.
Monkey's uncle says also a lot of those players had COVID. You have a 6-time greater chance of getting midichlorians from Star Wars. Is that what it is from COVID?
Chlamydia or
yeah, from the vaccine. Even Rogan's controversial guest, Dr. Robert Malone, acknowledged this.
It would be great if we knew that, though, because you'd think that like all of the COVID tests they were giving athletes, they weren't giving them antibodies tests, as far as I know. Like that wasn't why. Like that was like, don't test me for COVID. Test me if I had it.
Yeah.
We have a caller, by the way. Hold on. Can you hear us? Are you there?
Yes, I can.
Oh yeah. Who is this?
We know
Ranters, you're on the air.
George? Trayvon, is that you?
Refrigerator running?
Yes, it is.
Our refrigerator.
Better
running.
go catch it.
What do you got? You got if you're not coming with the hot Bob Saget or COVID talk, I got to let you know.
All right. Well, first of all, I think Bob Saget was murdered.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, by Nikki Glazer.
That was the chick that I was gonna ask.
Oh no. Okay. What don't I know about this story?
By the way, I would murder Nikki Glazer's pussy, but that's a whole nother story. What I was gonna say, who was the chick that made a joke? Was it Kate? It was either her or Kate Quigley that made a joke on stage, or maybe somebody else. I don't know. She literally made a joke on stage. She was bragging about how she was vaccinated, and then she almost immediately collapses and fractures her fucking skull.
It wasn't either of them.
Heather something. It was
Heather McDonald.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Heather
yeah.
McDonald.
It was someone that was like an Adam Carolla news girl.
Heather McDonald. Heather McDonald. I think it was.
Okay. Yeah. So
that was weird. That was a weird scene.
We wish it was Kate Quigley. No. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No. Fentanyl is like a ticking time bomb for that lady.
For Kate Quigley?
Yeah. So you remember like
I'm getting it. I'm conflating that. Yeah, she had a thing. Yeah, what was it?
There were like 3 comedians that died at a party doing coke, or what they thought was coke, and one of them was her, and she survived.
That's why I know that name. Okay.
Who were the? Do you know? Do they have names? Or
no.
Okay.
They were like
Gilbert Gottfried.
Local. Yes. Yeah. Greg Giraldo.
Yeah, they were local. I mean, I didn't mean did they have names. I didn't mean that to sound insulting. Although it's funny.
I'm sure they have names.
No, they don't.
Not one that we would know. You know.
So they did actually. See, I didn't know that part. I knew that she got fucked up and she was in like intensive care or something. Is she okay now or what?
Yeah, she's fine now. She's actually done jokes about it. But can I just tell you that I called this number and I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about? So, like, if you want me to be on topic, I was on hold for 8 seconds, and then you guys went to me, and I don't know what to talk about. So it's like I got material for anything.
No.
But you got to give me some lead up or something.
All right.
First of all,
I heard you went to the
we don't have to do
last
anything.
weekend. I heard you went on a ski trip. Yeah.
All right.
Set you up like the old
Hey,
lady.
Tackle Box. Quick question.
Yeah.
Was one of the comedians? Was it Fuquan Johnson? Was it one of those? I'm reading a TMZ article.
Yeah, don't Google stuff and act like you're coming up with shit off the top of your head.
Among 3
Fuquan
dead.
Johnson sounds like a fake African WNBA player.
Yeah. Okay, and then this might be something else.
6-footer in South Africa, and they're like, you know what? We can get you to dunk, right? All right, WNBA for you.
Yeah.
It also sounds like a swear word in certain languages.
Fuquan Johnson. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, Fuquan sounds like in French and in Mandarin. It's telling you like a.
Yeah, I was thinking Asian. It's an Asian curse word.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'm looking at the article, and here goes Kate. What's her name? Quigley, is it?
Kate Quigley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she has a picture with the guy. I think.
Kate Quigley seems like she should have an OnlyFans and a Patreon for her stand-up. Like, that's how she rolls.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't follow her. I didn't really know about her until a few days ago, and she posted a really long, a few paragraphs about coke and how she's been doing, that stuff.
That is kind of a hard story to tell. Like, you got the fentanyl laced with, so you're swept up in the whole fentanyl thing. You're a victim of fentanyl, but then also you were snorting coke at a party with people, strangers you don't know,
So I remember her from
kind of hard. It's a hard story to tell where you come out looking okay.
I think she used to open for Brad Williams when he would go on tour. Like, they were buddies, and so he knows her pretty well. And then that happened, and then what do you do? That's a weird thing too, because it's just because you go on tour with somebody doesn't mean you really know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I heard. Are you still talking about Nikki Glaser? Or no?
Mm-mm.
I think he was talking about the other blonde comic that was all coked up.
Yeah.
Kate Quigley.
Nikki Glaser did the worst song ever, and I'm sorry to bring up songs on your show because I got you canceled from YouTube last time I did this.
Yeah, no, that was my fault. Out of all the things that got us, it was that fucking half a fag that was jumping. Who was it? It was it wasn't. I don't think it was George Michael.
A lot of Wham. Andrew Ridgely. Andrew Ridgely.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but yeah, you're fine. What's the song?
So she did a song about Bob Saget, and they made fun of it on Legion of Skanks, but it was basically about how much she loved Bob Saget, and it was the cringiest song you've ever heard in your life. And
is that why you think she killed him?
Yeah, because I think she had it in her head, and she was like, you know what, this song would be awesome if he died. And then, then he's dead, and she releases a song a day and a half later.
Well, this is what we get when we allow the Chinese to, just bring over all this fentanyl on our northern border. That's what we get.
Yeah, is fentanyl good or is it not? I mean,
I'm not sure. I know it's. If you ask a large bovine if it has hoof pain, fentanyl is awesome. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I mean,
I guess to a 110-pound, blonde comic.
Yeah, I know it's sort of like asking Heidi Fleiss if crack cocaine is good. She's like, yeah, let me suck your dick.
Listen, I've had friends get into motorcycle accidents. They're they'll use fentanyl to tell you how bad it was. They're they gave me fentanyl. That's how bad it was. You're I think it's fine if you have the right amount. It's like methadone or
propofol.
Morphine or anything. But if you have the wrong amount, it'll fucking kill you.
This makes me think, and just by the way, we're halfway into this episode, by the way. It makes me think about that study. I think it was covered on 60 Minutes. Adam Carolla talked about it, about addiction and how they would start putting cocaine in the water for mice. And a certain percentage would just get hooked no matter what. But most mice, if they had something better to do, like a wheel to run around or something entertaining, social, whatever, they wouldn't get hooked on it. It wasn't a big deal. But then there were a certain percentage of mice that it was in their DNA to oh no.
Yeah, they would constantly hit the button. You hear about them, but they were hitting the button.
It's a very small percentage of the population, but there's millions of people that get prescribe these super powerful painkillers, sedatives, after a major surgery, and after a week they're just they just throw it away. But there's a sliver percentage that is oh, I need to keep this going.
I knew this chick that was prescribed GHB.
Is that roofies?
It's that I think it can be used for that.
Was she a good friend?
Calm down.
We hung out a lot.
Wait, he's where's she at? Give me her number. I got a date this weekend.
That is the first use for that.
I would.
I don't know what is GHB.
I think
is
it's the
ecstasy?
second. It's sort of where I was going.
Okay.
A close second, mind you. But
well, I'm arguing that Christopher thought it was the first use. And
oh no,
we
he
should
thought
probably
it
put
was.
him-
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he just
we
texted
should
me
probably
right now.
put him on a watch list or something. You know?
Yeah, no, I went to
Just
this.
sent you like 8 texts in a matter of 10 seconds.
Yeah, this is fucking hilarious. I had this chick, smoking hot blonde, that I went to high school with. I'm so tempted to fucking say her name because she's kind of a cunt, but
Ends in an I.
I'll tell you off air. Not that it fucking matters. Are you gonna look her
Probably
up?
Christy. I'm guessing Christy.
No. She. Good guess though. I had a couple of those in there too, but she calls me. So she lived in Austin. Like I said, I went to high school with her. Haven't talked to her since fucking high school. I haven't seen her in fucking almost 20 years. She hits me up one time. We had kind of like, we were friends on Facebook or whatever, and I knew that she lived in Austin, and we exchanged numbers, but we never really like, I don't know. We just never really hit each other up. We were cool and everything. I didn't know that she got down the way that she did. One night she texted me and she's just out of nowhere. She's like, it was like 1:30 in the morning. She's like, hey, come over. Let's get fucked up. I was like, okay. So I went over and we were hanging out. This bitch just starts taking shots of GHB and explaining to me what it is and what it does. Because I didn't know. I'm fucking.
What's a shot of GHB? Is
Yeah.
that like a?
I think she was mixing it with water, to be fair.
Okay.
But she was telling me that it was basically liquid ecstasy, and she's like,
oh, okay,
like,
okay. I'm gonna Google this shit.
I was like, I just did a fucking bump off a fucking urinal. I'm like, I'm good. So anyway, should we go out
Hey,
there?
I need to hang out more.
Yeah, we I haven't done that shit in forever though. I'm always, if somebody's got it, I'm game. Whatever.
Oh,
But,
it's rofinol or roofie. Okay, okay.
yeah. Well, that's where the term comes.
Ketamine. Oh yeah, I've heard that.
From.
It's crazy how these things
Just
have
'cause
like.
you're pronouncing the drug names wrong on purpose doesn't mean we don't know that you do horse. You know.
Yeah, I heard of something called
What is this heroin
ivermectose.
that you're talking about.
Somebody was talking a lot about ivermectose and
Yeah.
What is this?
Anyway, so I'm at this chick's house.
Cocaine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah,
that's Spanish.
Yeah.
That's just Spanish for cocaine, man.
yeah.
Come on. All right, you're at this chick's house. She's
marijuana.
she's slamming
Yeah,
GHB.
so I go over there and I was like, I showed up with like some Bush Tall Boys or something, and I fucking just got done doing blow at the fucking bar, gambling pool. And I go over there and we've never had any romantic like interactions whatsoever. I've known her since elementary school. The last time I saw her was in high school. I go over there, she busts out with literally like, the orange, what they give you like lean in or what do you call it? What am I trying to cough syrup or whatever? I forget what the name is, but that
Scissor.
sort of scissor, what they will give you, promethazine, that's it. One of those orange bottles, and it's fucking full of GHB, and I'm just like, I was sitting here, I was like, I thought GHB was like this like fantastical like make believe drug that you had to like bribe a hobo to get in some alley or something. She just has this full fucking bottle. She just starts shooting it. Like I said, she was mixing it with water. And then we go out and we're laying on her hammock, and she just looks over at me and she's like, "Are you gonna fuck me or what?" And I was like, I'm down, but you just chugged GHB, and I don't know how I feel about that. So
And then Chris Hansen popped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we ended up so we go to her bedroom. I haven't thought about this in fucking forever. We go to her bedroom and she goes to the bathroom for like 45 minutes. And I'm just in here. I was watching like fucking Gilmore Girls or something in her room. That was just what was on TV. And then I was honestly starting to get into
You're midway through a second episode.
She comes out in a full fishnet bodysuit. Like, not the thin fishnet, not like a butterfly net. This was fucking fishnet. It has the thicker, it's almost like a threaded chain link fence all over her body. And she was smoking hot.
Protective fishnet.
Yeah, and I had like a soggy 6.
Tactical fishnet.
Yeah, I'm rocking a soggy 6, and I'm just like, yeah, I think I'll fuck this chick. But she was one of these chicks that she was hot. She was so hot that she didn't feel like she would respond to your texts whenever, and they would be like super short, and so it'd just be like, yeah, hey, after I left that night, I was like, yeah, I texted her the next day, and she's like, I was like, yeah, I had fun last night. I didn't expect that. It's like, yeah, let's hang out more or whatever. Cause she was cool, that night. And then like 2 days go by and then she just responds like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
One of those people.
She's like, yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah. And it was just like one of those things. And then every time, and then
that's just not right.
And I try not to blow up people's phones or anything. And I guess I texted her because like I said, she was cool. We were friends. It wasn't even like a sexual thing necessarily. I felt like I needed to redeem myself because, like I said, I was rocking a soggy 6. It's not good, but she was just one of those entitled, like, hot blondes that didn't have to put in any effort whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And then finally, I was just like, she waited 2 days and gave me a show. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you, bitch. I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah, there's like,
I knew you in high school. I was like, you're not even that hot.
That's a crazy combination.
Is we need to have a definition for party. When she was like, "You want to come over and party?" Like, you got to be specific. Like,
well, no,
because your idea of
she said, "Do you want to come over and get?" She asked if I wanted to come over and get fucked up just before you finished. She didn't say party.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. But again, we still need a definition for that. Like, to me, fucked up means alcohol. And
yeah, that's what I thought. She started taking shots of.
Yeah, to me, that's like alcohol and some other substance other than alcohol.
Yeah. Do people still, do people still call
like
other substance?
Like, if you want to come over and party, GHB is not on my list.
Remember party favors? Didn't they used to call party favors?
Party favors
back in the day. I remember Craigslist. I used to, kind of be curious and look around, and on the personals or whatever. They'd say, "Oh yeah, and bring party favors."
I think that means cocaine or
I think so. Cocaine.
I thought it meant those little popper things you buy in like a tent, like where you pull the string and it goes, yeah, confetti pops out.
Meanwhile, I'm showing up with balloons you can turn into a dog.
Yeah, Sean showing with M80s.
Yeah.
Well, you got a weird
animal balloons.
There's a weird. This kind of like. Couple topics we discuss sometimes in our chat is like there's this, and it's a combination because you got this weird combination of like some chick out there that's just had it like people just do what she says, like she's not used to like a negative response to anything. On top of that, apparently she's got a pharmacist that's just loading her up with whatever. So you got this combination of people out there that are incredibly entitled and also like just hopped up on all kinds of drugs, like just prescribed, like these are prescribed drugs. Like it's not even illegal, just like on all kinds of antidepressants and shit.
Yeah. I can't even with
coughs and like, oh, I got a cough. So I'm going to need to give you a serious cough syrup with codeine and fucking roofies in it.
I don't know if y'all have ever been with a 10. They're more trouble than they're worth. They really are. They won't shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I would argue like there's a magical number. And it's different for each person. It's
7.5. It's what it is. Like you want a 7.5.
Well, it's like, have we been drinking? What's my weight? What's my weight looking like?
Them to a 7.5.
Oh yeah,
it's like how old are you?
It's a
like,
solid 5.4.
Are you done act? Like what?
It might be a 9. You got to drink enough that their talking gets them down to a 7.5. And then sometimes they're a 5, and you got to drink enough that their looks become a 7.5. But like 7.5 is the number.
Monkey's uncle is like, go with 2 5s. I like this guy. I had the opportunity to have a threesome once, but it was more like a 7-3 situation. No, it was like 8-2. It was like an 8-2 situation. Like it was just one chick. I would really fucking like to be alone with you, and the other one, I'd be scared to be alone with her. Like she might, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't go through with it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not for me. Like I don't want to. Like that's not something where I want to be doing a lot of thinking, a lot of socializing, or like trying to figure out social cues and whatnot. It's like it's either on, it's on. It's like you got another person, and there's always
Can I tell you
like,
that my
what are the
first- my
chances
first
you're gonna?
sexual experience?
Well, what are the chances?
My
Oh
first
yeah,
sexual experience was in a threesome.
that's
Oh,
And it
yeah.
was like
Your grandpa and your
literally
uncle.
It's never a good
been
thing.
all downhill since then. It was like, oh, I didn't realize I peaked at 16 and a half. Like, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are, yeah. And then there's another thing where like people are nowadays, especially like, when I was growing up, it's like to be exposed to pornography, there literally had to be a printed out magazine,
Oh yeah.
that you had to come
Oh,
up,
yeah,
that you had to
somebody had
stumble
to leave
across.
something
There
in
was
the
no
woods for
like,
you.
it was never flying out at you, like from every corner. Like it was never like attacking you. So it's different, but there's a lot of
Emmy,
people that, yeah, they have that kind of shit flying around. They're very entitled. They're also all hopped up on all kinds of prescription drugs and cough
sure.
syrups and whatnot. Yeah.
Emmy from the comments, our boy Emmy goes, the two just holds the camera. So
Yeah, like what are the chances you're going to
him?
be in an equal situation where it's you, and who knows who cares what you are 1 through 10, you're the dude, but like there's two equals, like there's 2 5s or 2 8s or 2 10. Like there's going to be disparity there, and that right there that creates
I remember
something.
one time I borrowed my friend Heather's camera. This was like 2005 or 6 or whatever, when digital cameras they weren't on your phone. And then she let me borrow her camera, and I made a sex tape with this chick. And by sex tape, I just mean I put it in the corner. She knew, she was aware, by the way. She knew that we were filming it, but that's a sex tape, right? So
there were stories.
I put it in the corner, and we humped or whatever, and I meant to delete it, but I forgot to delete it. And Heather's like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "I just turned on my camera and it was you and fast forward." Like
there was a short period of time. There was like a window not that long ago where the technology was kind of new, and like all the cloud backups and like all your text messages were, backed up. So like my brother-in-law had a situation where they bought like someone's phone, right? Just like an old iPhone because they needed it. And the person hadn't wiped it correctly. So then all of a sudden, like, not even asking for it, like all their text messages with their lover showed up.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's, you can imagine it's like intimate stuff that people text back and forth that, it was like a small window there where people really didn't realize like you might as well, you need to smash this phone with a hammer.
Small window.
You
I'm still in that window.
This needs to go into a lake when I'm done with it. Yeah, it needs to go to the Davy Jones locker when I'm done. With
like,
my phone.
Like
you
you don't like
you want to know the litmus test for somebody's like how innocent of a life they're living is when they show you there's two things. Either they show you their phone, they're like open their photos and they're like, yeah, the photo's somewhere around here, and I'm just like fucking white knuckling the couch, I'm just like, or when they grab, or when you go to show them the picture, you're like, hey, look at this, and then they grab it and just start scrolling like, oh, this is amazing, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Oh, you have no idea, man.
Doing, you maniac.
Yeah,
don't scroll up. Don't scroll up.
I get into crazy
say,
situations. No, my camera roll is like literally 50-50, like beautiful pictures of my children and then horrific memes. So like my kids, I'll be like, yeah, I took a picture at the park. Yeah. They're like, let me see. I'm like, okay, you can't touch. No swiping, because like there could be like something horrible, the next screen over.
Yeah, well, mine's 50-50. Beautiful pictures of my cock and horrific pictures of your cock.
But yeah, I'm trying to teach them like phone etiquette. Like when someone shows you a picture on their phone, don't touch their phone.
Yeah,
you notice their grip tightens. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
They're just trying to show you. They're not trying to let you hold.
Got the kung fu grip.
Yeah, they're not trying to let you hold their phone. They're trying to show you something on this.
Yeah.
Also, is there any other object where I took a shit with every time that you would easily touch, but like your phone, no problem. But like if I took any other object into the bathroom with me every time, you'd be like, I don't want to touch that. It's gross,
Hey, well, I've watched Dateline, and I know that there's more fecal matter on your toothbrush. Okay, because isn't that what they would always say?
Because you're not. That's because you're not brushing your teeth properly. That's what that means.
Yeah, they would
it's
always
like-
be like, yeah,
it's because it's only for your teeth. It's only.
Yeah.
Repeat after
Oh,
me.
no, it's like
only
obviously
for your
the
teeth.
the keyboard at the company computer is the dirtiest thing in the office. But like, honestly, if I took like a book into the bathroom with me, there was a whole Seinfeld episode about this where George took a book into the bathroom and they wouldn't let him return it. It's like, but like everyone's phone, you just like everyone while they're pooping is on their phone now.
Well, I had a weird. Yeah, you're right. And I had a weird situation today where I had to take a leak and I was halfway down the hallway to the bathroom and I realized they did my phone. And I was like, I stopped.
What am I going to do?
I almost
Yeah.
turned around and I was just like, come on, dude. You're talking about 60
you scroll
seconds.
you scroll while you pee.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah,
I need
you
both
gotta
hands.
Take one of them,
So
Well, it really
yeah,
depends.
if your phone's.
Yeah.
your phone's
Well, I have a
dead, you gotta
harness.
Take one of them Amish dumps.
I have a harness now, a 5-point harness. But no, like,
Yeah, you.
pooping without the phone is not a thing.
oh yeah, that's.
Not-
I
yeah,
would
nobody does.
definitely turn back at that point. And be like, what am I? Like I can't waste this 5
Yeah.
minutes of my life. Like this could be, or 5 to 20 minutes of my life. I
Yeah.
can't waste this.
Nobody wants to take one of them Amish dumps, you know.
Yeah, there's so many Skeletor memes I could download while I'm sitting here. It's like,
I would do the poop walk for my phone.
mhm.
You know the poop
Yeah,
walk,
like
right?
specifically today, I had
You
to
don't
take
have
a
toilet
leak.
paper. If I don't have my phone, it's the same walk.
Yeah,
the
I was like, I had to take a leak, but I was like, yeah. But it depends on the bathroom. Like I work in an office building where like hardly anyone's ever there, so I've got no qualms just walking in or like
Oh, that's nice.
be on my phone. But if you're in a bathroom where there are normally someone in there, it's like, no.
Yeah. You know how I like to tell like deep, dark secrets and
Mhm.
embarrass myself online? It's going to live there forever. I've done it so many times. I don't even fucking care anymore. I sharded.
With Jaden.
I admire that
I
about
sharded
you.
myself twice, double Daves. Okay. Either way, the most.
Yeah, I remember
pathetic
you
I've ever-
telling us that. Yeah, that's
Did I tell you the story?
you told me part of it to where it let my imagination run wild.
It was 2 different days, right? Not in the same day.
Yeah, my first thought was you did it. You took a dare twice in one sitting in one meal, and I was like, wow, that's
No. What am I, a loser?
daring. I mean,
No.
I don't know, like
The
those
most-
are the
most-
kind of people that invented, I don't know. I can't think of anything good.
Yeah, you have to space them apart, you know?
People that
Yeah,
are
well, it
willing
was-
to
it was
risk,
within
like
the
Elon,
next-
I bet you Elon Musk has risked it twice at a meal. You know what I mean?
Oh, Elon Musk has sharded. He takes chances.
Yeah, I bet he's done it, like multiple times at a fancy restaurant.
The most pathetic I've ever felt in my fucking life. I'm sure there's other ones. This is just one that's on the, on my mind right now since we were talking about. I can't even believe. Look at this. So one time I was pooping and like there was like a phone call that I was it was like a job interview or something. This was back in like, I don't know, the 90s, early 2000s. I was waiting on a fucking phone call, really urgent phone call. And it wasn't a cell phone situation. It was a landline. Granted, I still have a landline. Sean's on it, whatever. We won't talk about it, whatever. I got a really urgent phone call while I was pooping. And so I had to run to the phone and I fucking tripped with my pants on my fucking ankles. I was fucking running and I just fucking tripped and I'm like flopping around like a fucking beach fucking fish. Oh my God. It was so stupid.
Did you get the job?
No. No, I'm just kidding. I
Like
think
it
I even
worked.
missed the phone call. And so I was like, I'm just sitting there, I'm just flopping around on the ground, fucking crawling for the phone. God, I haven't thought about this in fucking 15 years.
Well, go back even further. Remember that, like the time in elementary school where you
Where I did what? Oh, did he freeze up?
Oh, yeah. He
I'm
froze.
so curious what he's going to fucking say right now.
All right, well,
Yeah, what was you doing in elementary school?
I told Chris the story about how I beat off in my high school bathroom at a urinal.
Who didn't?
Okay,
You're
good.
weird.
Thank you. I'm good.
You're weird if you didn't do that. You just walk around with a boner all day.
That was exactly. I feel like I'm a gentleman in a weird way.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing society a favor. You
Yeah,
know?
I was
and
in-
like you had the dignity to go where you had somewhat privacy. You know.
Are you Robbie? Are you telling him he froze up? Or
yeah, even though I'm sure he knew that. My
I don't know
stepson,
what he's gonna say right
Oh,
now.
there you go.
This is scary
He's-
to me.
he got kicked out.
He's gonna come back. Yeah.
Yeah. My stepson called me today. on a video call while I was on the toilet, and he's 7 years old. So I was like, okay, I gotta. He called me twice. I ignored the first call.
I think I have something that can beat both of your stories.
Okay.
So my first.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let him finish his story.
Oh no. It was
it?
It was just he called to complain about something. I had hidden some, prizes for him or whatever. And he's like, I'm mad and upset with you. And I was like, what? And then I said, I'll talk to you later. And I hung up. All right.
What kind of animal answers the phone on a video chat while you're on the toilet?
Well, I hurried up and put my pants back up, and he called me. I ignored it once, and then he called me again. I didn't want to ignore him a third time or second time.
I got you.
Yeah. Well, hold on, Sean. Before you say that, are you gonna be the one that lets Chris back in, or how does that work?
Oh shoot. I think he can let himself back in, right?
Well, I think it passes off host credentials to whoever was. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, it's not giving me. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Sean. Go ahead. We were just trying to figure out some shit here.
So this lady who eventually became my first wife, but it was our first date, and I was supposed to pick her up at her office, and she felt more comfortable with me picking her up and getting dropped off there than she did with me picking her up at her house, because we had just known each other off the internet. And so she's like, oh yeah, meet me in my office. There's security cameras, blah, blah, blah. So she gets a ride to work from her mom. And then I'm supposed to pick her up when the shift ends and go out on a date with her. And I get to the office and I'm 8 minutes early or whatever. And I shat myself.
No.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I have to leave. I cannot go on a date. I'm wearing khaki jeans or the khaki shorts.
Did you shit yourself or did you shart? See,
sharted. I sharted. It was liquid. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. I don't want to break this story, but I dropped out. I just want to know what age you were.
I would have been 20.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 20, and so I had 5 roommates at the time. So now I'm stuck in no man's land where it's like,
whoa,
I have to leave this girl.
Yeah, you have 5 fucking roommates.
Were you living? I was 20, man. It was $180 a month, and that was all I could afford, and it was all they could afford.
I was like, were you a Muppet baby? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, go ahead.
No, imagine you're a frat guy, but you're not smart enough to get into college. That's what I was.
No, you're not. I turned the video off.
I know what it looks like. Chris, we can still hear you, Chris.
So I'm in my car with my pants shatted or sharded, and I have to leave her, and she got dropped off there, and I can't answer the phone when she's calling me, where are you? Because I'm still in my sharded pants, but I can't go home because I have 5 roommates. Oh. And so I literally went to a gas station where I knew they had a bathroom that was outside of the gas station, and just ruined the bathroom trying to get myself clean enough to go home to be able to answer the phone. And I was like, I had to tell her some bullshit oh, I'm sorry, I got stuck at the office too late and I'm not allowed to use my phone and blah blah blah. And she ended up going on a date with me, and then later on I had to tell her exactly what happened. Oh yeah, I was outside of your office and I shit myself.
I think it's ethical. I think it's ethical and moral to make up the craziest, biggest lie in that situation than to tell her later on.
I work for the CIA.
Yeah. You're fully within your right. It's in the Constitution. You're in your rights there.
I told her something reasonable that was I'm sorry, I couldn't pick you up for our first date. And then, by date 15, I was like, hey, remember that time this happened? Well, sorry, I did this. And she thought it was hilarious. So,
she's a keeper. Did you marry her?
I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah, wait, hold on.
Is this your first or fourth wife?
This will be number 1. I'm
Okay.
currently on number 2, but I'm looking for number 3 if he's out there.
He's browsing the streets. No,
Yeah. If you've been turned on,
I heard there's a deal on Ukrainians.
Didn't we talk to a guy? Wasn't there a guy? My head's swimming with we've just recorded so many fucking hours. There was a guy, he farted into a fan or something, and his girlfriend. Do you remember this? God, we talked to somebody. This was a couple years ago. We talked to a guy. He farted into a fan, and she ended up marrying him. Did I hear this on another? I could have swore we.
There's no telling. I wouldn't be surprised. It sounds like something I would have listened to or actually been in the conversation on.
God damn it! It was somebody that we know. One of the listeners or whatever. He said he farted into like an oscillating fan or whatever, and he ended up marrying that chick. Like that was their first date, and he ended up marrying her. Does that sound familiar?
It sounds familiar. Yeah, I think that the couples that fart together, stay together.
Oh yeah. Oh, we were talking.
I mean, I've farted into industrial equipment, but never married the person that was on the receiving end of the said fart.
I try not to fart on my girlfriends.
Yeah.
Not on them. I fart in the next room, and I make sure they hear it.
The audio part can be funny. The olfactory, is that the nose?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a word. That part, not funny. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I'm not gonna try to do that to her.
Yeah,
I have a
sound,
body shop.
if you can be like odorless, but the sound like that can be comical, But if like you're gonna cinch your nose hairs 3 seconds later,
Okay, this sounds like a dumb question, but that fart fan in the bathroom, it's not really a fart fan, right? It's more for
exhaust fan or what?
Yeah, it's not really for farts specifically.
More technology needs and attention needs to be put into these because I feel like too many Americans are living with substandard exhaust or fart fans, as they call it.
Well, you know what the secret is? You know what they need to do with those? Because I've thought about this, and it's not really just a fart fan. The fart fan is sort of slang for just a stench fan.
You need to move air through a room that
air.
is wet all the time. For sure.
That's right.
So here's what we got to do.
You know what that guy? You know what that fan's actually supposed to be for, right?
No, you hang on.
The moisture, right? Yeah.
It's for when you take a shower and you don't want your mirror to be covered in water vapor. You turn on that fan to get the hot, misty water out of there, and
that's what I just said. You're lucky we don't have another caller on hold.
Who gives a fuck about that? I'm trying not to get the chick I'm trying to bang walking through my fart cloud.
Okay, so it's one of those things where it's like it does two purposes, but what we use it for, and it's like fentanyl. Like fentanyl was invented. It wasn't to get high. It was so somebody in a car wreck doesn't have to feel their broken hip. You know what?
I don't like your attitude lately. Okay, here's what I'm saying.
Stop trying to deal fentanyl to us and our listeners.
Well, you know how, because I've thought about this. The way that
it's pretty awesome, Chris.
The way that you could maximize. So here's my theory, and this could just be my sort of OCD handyman mind. What we need is this is another invention. Do we got breaking news? Oh shit. Oh shit, wrong one. I'm gonna get the free applause.
Shot. I mean, hang on. I feel like a rim shot would actually be, accurate.
Yeah, that's what they think of you. Anyway, so here's my invention. Right, every bathroom door should have what do you call it? Weather stripping. It should be airtight in that motherfucker. That air is gonna move a lot better if it's not flowing out of it. You know what I mean? You got to have it kind of airtight, and that fan is gonna pick up so much more. You see what I'm saying? So bathrooms all should have. First of all, why is there a crack in the bottom of the door? I don't need some weirdo looking at my feet. while
I think
I'm
you need the air to flow though. Like you need
No.
if you're in a vacuum, you need a super powerful fan to
It's
like.
not a vacuum because there's still drains. There's still,
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
you know, it's not a complete vacuum. What it is
Every
it's
time I die.
it's sealing.
Every time I die, it's a band.
That is a band. It's a good band.
Oh,
Now he's just
sorry,
spouting
guys.
off. He's just spouting off music facts.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like I said,
Yeah, you should listen to August Burns Red, okay? You look like one of those.
next
guys.
caller when there's
disclosure,
one.
No.
Full disclosure, I'm at a bar and 4 of my friends just walked up. So they're like, what's
okay.
up with your shirt?
Put him on speakerphone. Fuck him. Let them hear my fart fan theory. I'll blow their minds. Anyway,
Pun intended.
So the thing is, see, what Monkey's uncle's saying, you need to have air in. Yes, it will, because it's not a complete vacuum. Weather stripping does not make it airtight. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking. I mean, we can do this if you want to. I'll bust out with the caulk. Okay, I told y'all the Hurricane Ike story last week. I sealed up my house with fucking silicone and it stayed watertight. And like, I had the only apartment in my complex that didn't get destroyed. I felt like an asshole. Anyway,
I'm going to do you one better, Jaden. It should be built into the toilet. So, like, when you flush, there's, like, water goes down, but there's also a pipe that goes up that's a vent pipe to allow the movement of water. Because, like, think about when you got your thumb over the end of a straw, it'll suck up the water. So your toilet actually has a vent pipe that goes up to the roof. Why not build the fan into the toilet that goes into that vent pipe?
Your thumb will not. You have to put a straw in the. Okay.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
like,
you know what? You know what?
It holds it in a vacuum.
So
I'm
so
in the
when
pool
when
business. I
flush-
deal with this a lot.
Yeah, Sean,
yeah,
you're
so
like you're throwing.
I'm getting technical on you guys, but it's actually factually correct.
No, it's not.
If you have a drain, or like a toilet or whatever, to get the water to go down, it's going to suck air with it. So where that air comes from is a vent pipe that goes all the way to the ceiling. So if you like did a cross section of a house and you look at the toilet plumbing, there's a pipe that goes down, but then there's a T at the back of that goes up to the ceiling to allow air to go in so that the water can actually move. It's called a vent pipe. Look it up. It's a thing.
Yeah,
Why not?
The toilet flushing is
Venturi
pulling. I agree with it's pulling some volume of air, but a tiny
No,
amount.
because if the seal's not
you
broken,
need to have a vent pipe.
yeah, you have to have
if you look
something
at
to. Yeah, it's the
if you
same
look
way
at
with
any
spas.
roof, there's plumbing stuff that comes out of the ceiling, and it has a vent cap on it and everything. But it's to allow so that the water doesn't get stuck in the pipes and can actually go down the sewer. It's a vent pipe to allow air in to equalize the pressure. We should be utilizing this to excess gas.
Okay, I'm on board.
Into the
I
toilet.
think that Elon Musk and the Dyson ball dude, you know what I mean? Like Dyson,
they could
the
really
English
solve
guy
this
that made a
problem.
bunch of like really good vacuums, need to figure out a way to
get
when
him
you
and the
turn
Virgin
on the
Galactic
exhaust
guy.
fan, when you turn on the exhaust fan, whether it's triggered by the door or the toilet seat or the flush lever,
I think it's a pressure plate on the toilet.
if you're
That's
sitting in a
you know?
if you're sitting in a toilet that's 18 cubic square feet, that it has the ability to remove 18 cubic square feet of air in a split second. Because like we call it fart fans, but no one has ever taken a dump in a toilet, turned the fart fan on, and it takes a long time. I'm not even sure if they have any effect at all.
I don't think so. I think the
'Cause
Japanese.
it's like there's no like they call it that, but like you walk in and there can be a fan running. You're like,
Oh yeah, they
You know
need
what-
to invent
you know what
something
happened.
like the bidet, but for farts, like a fart sucker, and attach it to the seat to the bottom.
That's
where
what I'm
you.
saying. That's
You-
it.
Yeah.
You know what?
Exactly what I'm
You're
saying,
a
Robert.
you're
The
a fart knocker.
The plumbing's already there. We just got to tap into it.
You remember that in the '90s?
Yeah,
Called somebody a
fart knocker. Well,
Cake-
yeah, like
cake
Sean.
eater.
Yeah, cake eater.
By the
Like
way,
Sean.
what was
Sean,
that?
you know, like those rats. You see the videos of those rats that will crawl up the toilet. Yeah, there are air pockets, right? Or what you can do is you can fart at the same time when you flush, and you hope that fart goes into that air pocket down to the sewers.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to get too technical on you. There are air pockets. What I'm saying is, you have something called an S trap or a P trap, and it holds water in, so you don't smell sewer gas. But once you expel the water, you dump the new water in. It's like a gallon, 1.8 gallons gets dumped into the toilet. It goes out. If you had a closed plumbing loop, it would be like putting your thumb over the end of a straw, and so it wouldn't move anywhere. But like
I think I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you, but I'm envisioning.
There are vent pipes. This is not a thing I'm making up. This is.
I'm with you, but I am envisioning I'm envisioning a toilet that's fucking gigantic. Like that's like
no.
What I'm saying is like
saying you seal it around the edge.
Plumbing in the wall. Yeah, it's the plumbing in the wall, like that you don't see. There's a pipe that goes to the sewer where it eventually ends up, and then there's also a pipe that goes up up the entire wall and comes out your roof on like a standard house. And if you ever look at the roof of a house, there's a bunch of things up there. One of them is a chimney, but above all the bathrooms, there are vent pipes. That's what sticks out of your roof.
Yeah, there's all kinds of pipes. Yeah, coming out everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm with you.
So your idea is basically to have the weather stripping instead of, like I'm saying, having it on the door, have the weather stripping or some sort of padding to where it gives a seal in the toilet.
Yeah, just right on the toilet.
You got to do it.
Sensitive.
Okay, I like where your head's at. And
and then it just pumps it out there, and then you're getting 80-90% of the smell like immediately.
Yeah, you got to do the quick courtesy. That's another thing that I perfected over the years. You got to take you go into a chick's house, you're gonna watch the new fucking Twilight or whatever she talked you into, and then nature calls or whatever.
Yeah,
you go in there,
as Forrest Gump used to say.
Yeah, she. You got to go in there, give it the immediate courtesy flush. Seriously, like as soon as it drops, just flush the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's going to save you a lot of trouble.
And
we had this invention. You know what? This is the cheapest invention. I feel like I can make this next week. I just weather stripping for a fucking toilet. That makes perfect sense.
I think dudes need to get.
I feel like there could be a pressure switch, like a bouncing Betty, but like for the toilet seat. So the moment your ass hits it, the fan kicks on.
I think the courtesy flush is like something that form? Something. It's a secret art form that hasn't been out enough to be lost. Like I think I'm going to start training my son on this. I think I have actually. Like. Don't worry about a little splash up, like it's, the courteous thing to do, like help everybody out.
I don't know what a Roth IRA is or how to prepare for your retirement, but when you got to take a dump at a girl's house, I got you covered.
I mean,
yeah.
It's about time we get back to some, old fashioned values, like a giant horsefly.
Yeah. Right.
I knew this because everybody knows the nerve gas on the first date thing. It's like, you just got to, I don't care what women say. Women like to claim they're like, oh, we like sex just as much as men do. We fart just as much as men do. No, you don't, bitch. Like, let's be real.
The term intestinal fortitude is Latin for holding farts.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with courage in the face of battle. Or anything. It's basically like first date holding farts.
Yeah, they can take more pain. They're more mature, whatever. You hold on to that. But I draw the line at my butthole.
I never saw where that term came from. You might be right, Chris.
Yeah, well, I think it has more to do with
what
you can take. No, what I'm saying is, I heard this story about this guy, who it was my ex-girlfriend's sister. She said that he had that moment because you know how Ace always talks about. If you walk out to your car after a first date and then you just rip one in your driver's seat and then she runs out, she's like, oh, you forgot your sweater. She's like, open the door, I'll hand it to you. And you're like, no, you're just like yanking it shut.
I don't want that sweater.
Fuck that sweater. And fuck you.
Keep it.
Fuck you and your GHB, bitch.
Then you got to make up a huge lie the next day. Like, the CIA field station was calling.
I'm going to call Sean. I'm going to be like, what did I tell her? No.
I was called into the field office for the CIA. There was a hooker murdered 3 miles from here, actually.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll just change it up and you'll be like, I don't work for the CIA. But
Yeah. I was
but,
actually
but I do own
abducted by
this
aliens.
place, No, I heard this story about like my ex-girlfriend's sister told us a story about her boyfriend. They went on a first date and they were in her apartment, and then he left. They hugged her goodbye or whatever, and he walked out and he left. But the window was open and she could see him, and he just fucking rips one, just like 15 seconds long, and she never
Yup.
told him about it, I guess.
How many dudes have been ruined by Ring doorbell cams? Like those things record sound, so you shut the door, you think you're good, and then you're like walking to your car, letting one go, and the Ring doorbell is just recording the whole thing.
I feel bad for
this
anybody
technology is bad. Yeah.
I feel bad that's anybody that's dating during the social media Ring doorbell phone app for everything generation. Because nowadays, if I was to go on a date with a 23-year-old, I feel like that bitch knows how to hack my phone. Like, I got to be really careful.
Yeah.
Here.
I think most women in their 30s nowadays are like amateur FBI agents.
Oh yeah.
Like private investigators and like,
Yeah.
See,
you're being monitored. You think you're being monitored by Google? No.
I'm being monitored for sure.
Family of 3 is
maybe you should be.
He knows what he's talking about, or she, or whatever. Drop the handle just as the Duke hits the water.
That's what I was saying.
The immediate courtesy flush. That goes a long way. But mine and Sean's invention, mainly mine, I feel like we can do this. Okay.
Yeah.
I know how to make rubber molds. Okay. He sounds like a smart guy. Yada yada. He's at a bar. I'm here handling business. Okay. Who do you trust? Okay.
Customizable rubber mold.
Where is the Batman? He's at home washing his tights. Motherfuckers.
I feel like you're trying to get me to like 40% of the company when I should be like 70%.
Just use a turkey baster.
All right, listen.
Anyway, so 60% of the is not a bad ratio. You know what I'm saying?
He cut out.
Yeah, we lost you.
He's got that shitty internet.
Trying to take credit for my shit. Bitch, please. He just, you know what he did? I'm not going to say he's not an innovator, but I'm not going to say he is either. Okay, so that's how that works. Anyway, 512-992-0090. We rant endlessly. That's what we do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, this is anyway, I was talking about like exhaust fans in bathrooms. There's a lot of range, like because I have a good one now. Like it moves a lot of air and it's very quiet. Right. I know that because I can see if I'm sitting down, I can see like if there's a hair on the floor, I can see it moving. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of air being displaced here,
Wow.
But I've also had it where like there's a fart fan that's insanely loud and all it's doing is blowing into the wall. Like there's nothing there. There's no vent outside. It's just blowing in in between the apartments.
That'd be the most cruel like construction prank ever. You just route the exhaust fart fan
and you're just like, oh my God, the stranger
right above the bed.
The stranger I've never known before. I think I may have ruined their night because I had some really spicy wings 2 days ago. I might have destroyed their apartment. Yeah, but that you take a vent off and you're just like, well, this is just going right into the wall. It's just going right into the crawl space between apartments.
Yeah, there's certain situations that you can't really coach somebody through. You know what I mean? And that's one of those difficult situations. Like you're saying, you're going to talk to your son about whatever you said, how to shit in his girlfriend's apartment.
Well, mainly not. Well, I mean, it kind of stems from me, my self-centeredness, and I don't want to smell your crap, son. You're eating whatever you're eating these days, like Cool Ranch Doritos by the pound, and doing food challenges and putting tahini on kiwis and eating that. There's no telling what's gonna. I don't want to smell that. So it's mainly,
you.
What is it? Necessity is the mother of all invention. It's I don't want to smell that. It's repulsive.
Oh, okay.
I want to enjoy Cool Ranch Doritos and not have it bring me flashbacks of a clogged toilet.
Yeah, well, that's what
So
I'm.
mainly I'm like telling him, like coaching him up, but it also like this is stuff that will benefit him in like later on in life, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I would teach him to do it for the right reason, which is for her. But that's between y'all. That's why I do it.
Mm-hmm.
I do
Oh,
it
I'm
because
sure. Oh yeah, yeah.
I love my own shit.
You're a giver. Yeah.
I'll fucking
Mainly it's like
when I'm alone, I don't turn that shit on.
there's a life lesson. It's been going on since cavemen were like grunting each other. Like no one wants to smell your shit.
Yeah. What happened with Manny, by the way? Have we talked to him? Is he?
He said technical difficulties, but yeah, I
He's
don't know if
shitting
it
at his
was.
girlfriend's house.
Could be. Yeah, his exhaust
Yeah.
fans
He has
went up.
explosive diarrhea at his girlfriend's house, and
He's in the bathroom.
telling her in the
He will
CIA.
not leave.
He's telling her he's in the CIA.
She's banging on the door like, "Are you okay?"
Oh
Like,
no,
I'm on a phone call.
no! I just go. I was actually just telling somebody this the other day. When I date a chick, I'm like, I just go. I'll usually rip ass in the next room on the second date at the
Mhm.
latest.
Yeah.
But I just try. I mean, that's if I like you.
You have to mark
If
your
I think it's
territory.
gonna last. Well, if I think it's gonna last,
I mean, part of this is also knowing your body, knowing your own body.
Yeah,
My body,
well,
my choice, my body, my odors.
I
Like
will go.
knowing, like, what are you capable of after a night out on the town? Like a bunch of wings. Like what do you
Do
like? You got to
wings
know
really do it
your.
for you that much? Like, I feel like wings aren't that much of
No,
a.
it's more like, yeah, I guess it's anything that could like that's different to your system. Like you're eating a bunch of like habanero wings or just something where they add something to it.
Bro, I'm Mexican. That's my natural like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I know what you're. I was
But
actually.
you just have to know, like you have to know, like maybe you can do all that stuff and it's no effect, or maybe like you need to be, you need to be careful. You know it, and then you need to drop some bombs 10,
Yeah.
like you said, like 10 feet away, next room, and kind of,
Yeah.
like yeah,
That's. I mean,
monitor
I will
the
go
reactions.
I will go so far to say, the sooner I fart around you, the more I like you, because that means that I'm playing the long game. You know what I'm saying?
It's that, and it's also like the longer there's like it. That's like both sides of the spectrum are similar because it's like the longer I maintain my intestinal fortitude to like hold it, I also like you a lot. Because I'm worried, because I know,
Yeah, because I've been
could be
sweating
bad.
bullets. You're like watching When Harry Met Sally, and she looks over at you, and you're just. Just like,
Hey, have you guys ever like?
because I like you.
I remember going to my former girlfriend's house many years ago, and a makeout session would start. We were young, but then you had to fart, so you had to kind of excuse yourself. I don't know. And then the bathroom was nearby, so you had to like cough at the same time of, fart fan, coughing, farting. I don't know. It was embarrassing. I was always embarrassed.
Yeah, well, by the way, the coughing, I hate to break this to you. The coughing thing didn't work. I mean,
No, right? It's like putting gum, like peanut butter on gum in your hair. Then you have to put some like sour cream. Like it makes it worse, I'm sure.
yeah, well, family of three, whoever the fuck that is. I wish these people would like tell
Oh,
us
he's
their names.
now I know he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, "Can you tell if your fart will be silent or noisy?"
Ooh,
That
like a
has
burp. You can kind of do that, like, one of those.
yeah, I this has fucked me. This thinking that it's gonna be silent. Well, it fucked me twice at Devil Dave's.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have those in
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
we
just
don't.
a
I don't think so.
random shitty pizza place. But yeah, I sharded on myself. I feel like I was gonna tell y'all this story because it's so exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
Not for me, but yeah, I went to Double Dave's and I got I think it's called the Stromboli. Is that where it's like it's basically like a pizza pocket? I don't know. I got like a steak Stromboli. Is that? I think that's what it's called. But I got those one time, and I guess you like dip it in ranch or maybe you dip it in marinara. I forget what it was. Like I said, I got burned twice. I haven't had it since. This was fucking 10 years ago. Richie, no, he was. This is around the time that I met Richie. There was a Double Dave's right there on the street called Metric, next to this karaoke bar called the Canary Roost that we used to go to. But yeah, so I went to fucking Double Dave's and I'm eating a Stromboli, and then all of a sudden, like I think I got a silent one creeping up, and so I just go ahead and let it rip, and it was a disaster. And so I just waddled out of there.
Yeah. You have to waddle out. There's no other choice.
Yeah, I was like, bring me the check. He's like, really? Just bring me the fucking check. Fucking tipped him like $1 bajillion and waddled out. Didn't even take the food. So I don't know what it was. It was like to me what it felt like is as soon as the. And by the way, I feel like we've only done 45 minutes on ass-related material. I feel like we should move on after this.
Yeah.
Unless you got another one, and then I got plenty more. We'll keep it.
No,
going.
it's all fart stuff. I mean, I sharted and like pooped myself back in elementary school. I think once, maybe twice. My mom, it was when I first started getting. Oh, she bought me these jeans that had all like the buttons, like not just. No zipper. It was like all buttons. And I'm sure that it was a pair of girl jeans. I'm sure. And I couldn't get my buttons off.
I think that was a fashion back in the day.
And I just pooped myself and I peed myself. And
Okay, but you actually pooped. You didn't shart.
No, it was actual poop. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never pooped myself.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty rare. That's pretty cool though. I'm glad you're with me on getting all of your secrets out on the internet.
Oh, I pooped myself. Whatever. I was like 8, 9. I mean 7. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's you get a pass on that. I was
for sure.
I was in my mid to late 20s. Okay.
Yeah.
And I went to Double Dave's. Like I said, I had the Stromboli, and it was actually good too. That was the worst part, I guess. The Stromboli was good. And I guess as soon as the greasiness from the Stromboli, like a steak Stromboli, as soon as it hit my stomach, something happened and I ended up sharding a little bit. Like I said, I tipped the waiter $1 bajillion and waddled out of there as soon as possible. And then I decided to give it another try. I was like, maybe it was a bad day, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, just that day. It was just that day, right?
Yeah. I hadn't shat myself in years.
Yeah.
I hadn't sharted in years. And I guess I just gave myself away. It's happened more than anyway. And then I went back. Same fucking exact thing happened. Same waiter. Same awkward waddle.
Was it the Stromboli?
Yes. I tried the same thing. I wanted to eat the same thing. And just for whatever reason, I cannot eat Stromboli from Double Dave's.
Your picture should be on their wall, like with the Stromboli next to it.
I think it's a universal.
Like there's plenty of me on their floor, so
it's maybe a universal human life experience, for millennia, like soiling yourself and acting as if it didn't happen. Like you're talking about days of Sparta, like the 300 where like some dude's walking around a toga. You spoil yourself, and it's like, it's just mud. Yeah, I was building a mud hut earlier.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Mud on me, like.
Hey, Chris, I love how
awesome as you actually were building a mud hut earlier. So you,
like whatever, like whatever.
What a coincidence!
Excuse, you're like, oh, that Stromboli's greasy. Whatever, like I had a phone call or CIA, whatever, just
what
like.
What were we gonna say, Rob?
Oh no, I love how Monkey's uncle said, "Chris, is that a I stand with Ukraine hat?"
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's got a U. It looks like you. Is that a hook?
It's a hook.
Yeah, see, yeah, it's a fishing hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't stand with Ukraine. I don't care about Ukraine. My son asked me like every other day, like,
he's like, where are we at, Dad?
He's like, is Ukraine winning? I'm like, no. Like, why you keep asking me that?
I feel like they are though, aren't they?
No.
No.
Well, some people in Ukraine are winning, like whoever's getting the $40 billion we're sending over now.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Just within 24 hours, it's decided like 40 billion sounds like a good number. Like for those people, like if you run a consulting firm or something, like things are pretty good.
Yeah.
But if you're like an average Ukrainian, like renting an apartment, you work at a bakery, like, yeah, probably not good.
Yeah, I feel like the people that have been
Those people are losing.
praising. Yeah, I feel like the people that have been praising Zelensky, especially the chicks that have been praising Zelensky. Have you seen those? It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we totally want to fuck with those same chicks. If you told them that he opposes gay marriage,
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
would, they might actually implode.
It
That
is
might actually
crazy. Like,
physically
yeah,
be
there's like
possible.
some woke chicks that are like, like I guess down to bang warmongers nowadays.
Yeah.
I heard the guy was an asshole. I don't know about y'all. The whole narrative changed from like a few years ago.
Yeah, it's really like
I
if
thought that Ukraine was all corrupted and shit. I don't know. I don't know.
it's crazy how like in the moment we live, because if you just like, I mean, it's not even ancient history. You go back like 10, 15 years and just read news articles about Ukraine and what we were doing over there 15 years ago. It's like what's happening now all makes sense. It's just like a replacement for Afghanistan. Like, where can we have a conflict that's never ending, looks really good, like sells really well to people, like fighting for freedom, stand with this, stand with that, stand with current thing. And also like is like a huge, like we can just like take $40 billion in American taxpayer money and say we're sending it to Ukraine, and like $1 billion gets to like Ukrainians and 39 billion of it gets to like, like just huge multinational corporations that sell weapons, electronics,
Yeah.
HVAC systems, generators, whatever, like just that's where all that money's going.
Yeah, just like the 90 million from BLM, except it didn't go to corporations. It went to
It did nothing.
lesbian black chicks with
It did absolutely
rings.
nothing. Did
No.
nothing. It made things worse, really.
Yeah. Apparently
But yeah, I don't stand with those folks. Wish them well. I feel sorry for them. I feel like Americans should be looking at us like, wow, how lucky are we that our founding fathers, whether they're your bloodline or whether just happen to be the people that founded the country you're living in, like how lucky are we that they went an ocean away from their overlords, whatever you want to call it. And Ukraine is just sitting there like just in the middle between Europe and between Russia. And they have no chance, really. If you kind of, think about it, Ukraine has no chance. Like,
I thought they were doing well, but I don't know anything about it.
no, they're
I
not.
feel like that was the last thing I heard.
I
Getting
don't,
taken over. That sucks.
yeah, I don't think they're doing well at all. I don't think they've been doing well for a long time. Like, I think they live in like Americans aren't used to like such volatility. Like they're used to living in a very volatile region because their parents lived there and their grandparents and their great. It's been a volatile region for a long time. So they kind of stand no chance. The only chance Ukraine had was that Russia would just kind of accept like the international rules, like you shouldn't do that. And as soon as Russia was like, well, we can do what we want, and like, yeah,
Is that what happened? I mean, seriously, is that what happened? I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a like a 10-hour story to tell, and there's like a 10-minute story to tell, which was like this is an area full of resources and people value that. Was part of the Soviet Union. They are an independent country, but like how independent of a country are you if you cannot defend yourself against an invasion from a neighboring country?
Yeah. Remind me to tell you how I tried to out-gay my friend. I don't
Okay. So like you can like it's hard to imagine for us, but like I think that people in the area living with that their whole lives, like they're generations of people and their families that are living with the fact that they're just kind of pawns,
Shit.
I just don't know how they're gonna make it when the Ghost of Kiev died. The pilot.
Yeah. Oh, also like there's no like you can't use like World War II propaganda in 2022. Like it takes like 2 hours for people to be like, oh, the Ghost of Kiev, that's bullshit. Someone just made that up. Like these pictures, like we can just like Google search these images and realize this image was from a pilot in America.
No,
in Kansas like 30 years ago.
I thought it was just a realistic looking video game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that was the best promo ever. I was like, I want to play that game. Which game?
People will believe anything in a split second, and then you can also debunk it in a split second, and it's like it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Lest
crazy.
we forget in the 90s how they would have those jet fighter PC, or I guess it was a CD-ROM games that you would see everywhere. Nobody has ever played one more than twice. You see what I'm saying?
There was
Like,
an
we've all
old
played it. We've all
Nintendo
played them
game.
once, but they were so shitty back then. We didn't play them again.
There was a
That's what I'm saying. That's how
Nintendo
that
game
ghost-
where called Top Gun. There was like a first person, but you were flying
Yeah.
a jet,
Hell yeah!
bombing it other nations.
I played the shit out of that.
There was before that, there was an older Nintendo game called 1942 or 43, where you're just like bombing
Oh,
German
yeah,
cities.
Yeah, I played all those.
for sure.
That was your whole
Yeah.
thing. It was just like, I'm gonna bomb this city.
Just dropping nukes on regions that don't even deserve it.
It is weird to think like, America and like all the things that we say about other countries, but then like our entertainment culture is all about like war movies and like other countries attacking us and like us kicking their ass and like, yeah, like a lot of like that's kind of part of our culture. I'm okay with it. I don't really care, but it's like,
Yeah, no,
like we criticize other cultures for being like that, and it's like,
I told my friend Dylan, who's a fucking bleeding heart lib. I tell him this all the time. He knows it. We were at dinner the other day, and he's on this kick where he doesn't pay attention to news. And he's like, I don't know anything about politics. I haven't been watching that shit for years. Like, he's off Facebook. He's like,
did we get him? Did we get into with him on your show, Unimpressive Podcast, available everywhere you find your podcast?
Yeah, I get into it with him whenever I get the chance. So I don't know.
Because I think I was telling him that
You assholes were agreeing with him.
no, I was kind of I was agreeing with him about the doctors,
We're
the
supposed to
doctors
shit
part.
on
Yeah,
him.
no,
We were supposed to shit on him.
I hate doctors too much to pretend.
Yeah, that's true. I do too. But
He was getting into this realm of like where he was letting people know that he wasn't on social media or paying attention to news.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And I was comparing him to people that don't have a TV in their home.
Yeah. And they have to
weave
proclaim
that,
it.
They weave that into every conversation.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I just let him. The other day we were getting drunk. We were eating wings. Actually, you would have had explosive diarrhea. But I just felt the need. I just looked over and I was like, "Hey, Joe Biden is polling lower than Trump." He got so mad.
Joe Biden's polling lower than.
I was like, well, because you don't ever keep up with anything.
He's polling lower than like African dictators.
Yeah, since you hate Trump so much, and I'm not a Trumper, I just think it's hilarious. I told him, I was like, since you don't pay attention, since you make sure we all know you don't pay attention, I just felt like you should know that the guy that you hate, the guy that you didn't pay any attention to for years.
Did he try to pretend like he didn't care?
I guess, I don't know.
He pretend like he's above all that.
I could tell it was an inappropriate thing to say, but it was funny. I don't care.
I didn't like.
I go for the laugh. I don't care if it destroys our personal relationship.
I don't really believe in all the polls, all that stuff, but it's like
no, me neither. I don't give a.
It's
fuck.
like, but it is funny when you see polls like where here's how Biden's approval ratings rank up to like this African dictator.
Yeah, he's doing terrible, and it's still dropping. Once again, not that I give a fuck. It's just it's just funny to hear. He went off on this whole thing about how there's two sides, and you're only going to hear one side of it, and the other side there's probably truth. And I'm like, okay, so then you don't hate Trump as much as you think you do, because as a guy that doesn't pay attention, you hate what you think you know, but you're saying that there's always another side of the coin, and he wouldn't agree to that either.
Now they understand that the media frames things in a certain way that can, make people look good or bad, no matter what they say.
Yeah, all of a sudden. But being a doctor's easy. He can't see this, but he would be, what I'm saying? Like, that's what. Anyway, he's actually a really smart guy. I love the guy.
I like him. Yeah, I get a good vibe.
I love the guy. I love breaking his balls too, because he says shit like that. He's
because I can like also
28.
I can be very contradictory. Also, so
I can't.
Not going to be a hypocrite, but like, that I've been thinking about that doctors thing on your Unimpressive podcast. He was unimpressed with doctors, and like, there was something on the tip of my tongue in that episode that I didn't say out loud. I wish I did, but like, my son, my son went to his I think his 10-year pediatric visit, like his 10-year wellness check. And our pediatrician, like in front of him and my wife, like told him that he should get vaccinated, the COVID vaccines and all that. And like, it was really important. It was really good. And he should do it.
What?
It took me a couple weeks to realize that that appointment was before it was even FDA approved for emergency use in his age group. So this fucking guy who we've known for 10 years, he's been a pediatrician in his entire life, was telling my son, a 10-year-old, to get vaccinated to get as soon as he could, when it wasn't even approved yet. Not even at the lowest levels. It wasn't even approved for emergency use yet. I was like, wow, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I won a $100 bet with Dylan that he never paid for. We were out at dinner. It was me, him, and his basically wife, and somebody else was there. And they're all trying to convince me to get the vaccine. And I was like, okay. I was like, first of all, no. I actually was going to get the vaccine like early on, but I went and I did an antibody test. And 2 doctors told me, they're like, hey, you have the long-term antibodies. You're fine. You don't need the vaccine. And I was like, okay. And I told Dylan about it. He's like, dude, just get the vaccine. He literally said that. He's like,
yeah. Just like willy-nilly, like
just go over and we're super pro vaccine. And then all of a sudden, after all the information comes to light, it's like, oh, it turns out you don't know shit.
Yeah. I'm retroactively getting extremely aggressive, and like,
it gets ridiculous when
to people that back then, like flat, go back to like an email or a tweet or a Facebook, people that were so fucking casual about this, about just do it. Like, you're fine. Do it. Even if it doesn't, just do it, like.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, it's not even that, like, I don't understand the shit, but I do pay attention to data.
At the time, I was like,
I too. And as a guy, once again, Dylan, he brags about how much he doesn't pay attention to news at all. And I'm like, so why are we like having this discussion? I'm like telling him, I was like this and this and this and this.
It's like a dude. It's like, I'd never changed a tire before.
Yeah. And
don't say it out loud.
It just turned. Yeah, exactly. It's just been this thing. And that's why every, sort of nagging chance that I get, I'll just be like, yeah, Joe Biden's polling lower than.
I have a question. Are we seeing they're not as promoting it as much as before? Have you guys noticed that? The shot, the vaccine?
Oh, fuck no. They're done. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Pfizer. It's gotten to a point where Pfizer and Moderna, they're already starting to like reduce their earnings forecasts for next year because they realize the game is up.
Oh yeah, exactly. They're hedging their bets basically.
But
no, they realize that they made an incredible amount of money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But they're trying to figure out a way to say, like, people have figured out that we don't think people are going to be down with like our stock price rose because for a while there, we thought like we'd vaccinate every kid.
Yeah.
In America, but it's like in America, it's like, nah, we're starting to get the idea that parents are not going to be down with that.
You know what gets me?
It's better for us to like remarket fentanyl.
Yeah.
And like F cubes, like fentanyl cubes, like ice cubes that you could take to relieve your pain. Then to
I might call up Home Chick and just start doing GHB. I'm not even.
It's better for us to like just distribute fentanyl to people, and then to like push this to like we've made all we can on this vaccine grift.
Yeah. You know what pisses me off is kind of going back to my step kid. He's 7 years old. Whenever if he doesn't have a mask, like he freaks out now. And I tell him, I'm like, hey, stop. You're nowhere near anybody. You're fine. And he'll literally sometimes, if he doesn't have a mask, he'll put his shirt over his mouth and nose and mouth. And that, these kids, a lot of these kids got traumatized by all this.
Well, there's a lot of layers of that, right? Because there's this, not in my area because we didn't go nuts, but in other areas of the country, like let's say, I mean, it's easy to say New York City, big cities, San Francisco, LA, where there's a weird psychological thing going on where they were pounding into little kids' heads that they could kill grandma.
Yeah.
Like they're developing these weird things where they believe they are the cause of terrible things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right. So that covering the mask isn't like a habitual thing. It's like they're feeling like they're the problem. Like we made small children believe that they were the problem.
Yeah, for sure.
They were the risk vector, you know, like they were. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that, and that kind of like most kids, you know, most being more than 50%, whatever. Vast majority of kids, like let's say 85% plus, no problem. Just like screw it. Like I want to go smash something with a stick. But yeah, a small percentage, like that's the part they heard. They heard that they were the contagion. They were the risk.
I've already mentioned this before, but it also annoyed me. He came home a couple of days ago. He goes, look what they gave me in school. Remember the old the bands that Lance Armstrong had, the yellow ones? Well, he brought one of those, but it was a black one that said some mindfulness crap. And I'm like, really, kid? You're 7. Why do you need? I'm sorry, but why do you need mindfulness right now? Just run around, play dodgeball, you know, play some basketball, or
yeah. There used to be this thing called being thoughtful. That was good.
Yeah, exactly.
That was good. That was fine. Mindfulness.
Yeah. What do y'all seriously? What do y'all consider me politically? I mean, I know that we're all on the basic same thing, but I don't even know what to call myself. I don't know what I consider. I guess I would consider y'all like Republican, conservative. I don't know, but I just not to make it. I mean, because it's
okay, no, that's fair.
What I'm saying though is that it's even though we're all agreeing on this stuff, people put a political sort of like slant to it, and it's it's not
labeling,
it's not a political thing. It's really not. It's sociological. It's fucking psychological.
I think of you. I've always thought of you.
He says all right. I guess is that what that is? I don't know. Monkey says all right. I don't know
off.
what that is.
No, like I think of you as from the beginning. I think of you as lowercase libertarian, where it's like, oh, you're clearly someone that I like that thinks for themselves, situation by situation, person by person. How fucking hard is this?
Yeah,
I think like in high school, I wrote a paper on a French philosopher named Albert Camus. And the one thing I took
Al?
Okay.
Yeah.
But the one thing I took away from that was like he rejected labels.
Yes.
And I think that's so important. Like in today, our political discourse is destroyed by this conservative, liberal, right, left, progressive, alt-right, these labels, because people who are libertarian, who are really libertarian, and I lowercase libertarian, not part of the movement, but just like free thinkers, like literally go through life judging situations one by the one, you know, like without applying this conservative or liberal or left or right or whatever label to fucking everything, like putting this filter on. I think that's how most people live. But then most people get convinced to like accept labels that are put upon them. Like I reject that. If someone calls me a conservative, I reject that, because it's like, I might say most of my things are leaning that way, but no, there's a lot of subjects where I wouldn't like. I'm not a Republican. I'm not registered as that.
You're not too hard and fast, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like
I feel like we can have. We're like y'all are like the few people that I can have this discussion with. Where I
think most people.
What I think you can tell me what you think, and it's never weird.
I think most people are like that, but they get like the average person gets sucked into this thing where they allow themselves to be labeled, and then they label themselves. Like they're literally going through life putting this filter on, like what would Rush Limbaugh think, or like what would Nancy Pelosi, like what would AOC say? Like I gotta tune into AOC's tweets to see what she thinks about this Amazon union, to see if she's pro or for. Like, yeah, they're not free thinkers. They're always thinking about their side, their label, and it's just so destructive to political discourse, to a country, to like your own personal growth.
Yeah.
When you put these things on yourself. So I've thought that like since I was like 16, I've always just been like, no,
I don't
want to call myself anything.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same as Chris. I hate the fact that, because I'm brown, Hispanic or whatever, I have to be a Democrat. I don't have to be anything. I'm one of those, like, I don't tell me what to think. Don't tell me how to vote. You got to earn my vote. You know, I'm not going to vote for you. You're not going to dangle, you know, whatever, some taco shells in front of me and some nacho cheese. And then I'm going to jump and, you know, like a little monkey and say how high. I used to be more, I remember having I remember years ago, I bought a Carrie Edwards t-shirt. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. I like Carrie, you know, he was a, you know, Vietnam veteran and, you know, country. And then look at Carrie. He's, you know, I mean, Edwards, you know, friendly old nice guy and everything. But then, you know, of course, Edwards turned out to be a douchebag. Carrie had his issues as well and was whatever.
At
And,
one point, probably an idealist, but just
Yeah.
just a phony douchebag.
on my end, it's like don't assume I'm this just because, like I said, because I'm brown. Don't you have to earn my vote.
Yeah, that's
And
quietly the most rampant racism, like the most rampant form of racism
yeah,
by numbers would be what you're talking about.
yeah, it's
Super
annoying.
insulting.
It is. It annoys the hell out of me. I get pissed off. Don't. And then, the first episode number 2 of Endless Ranters, I was the guest. So I was the first guest. One of the first things that, well, I remember saying was, I don't care if you're a Hillary fan, whatever. I can be your friend. If you're a Trump fan, I can be your friend. Just don't shove it down my throat. Like I get it. But we've lost. I think, I don't know, me. I've lost friends because I've given some opinions that are, I don't know, more maybe conservative sometimes.
There's nothing wrong
But at
with
the same,
being conservative. If you're conservative in any other aspect of your life,
yeah.
that's just being resourceful.
Or it's like, you know what? This is how I feel. You know, you can feel the way you want to feel, but you still want to force me to feel the way you want to feel, and I'm not down with that. So if you don't want to be my friend, I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry, and have a good one. So yeah, I can talk about anything. Just you know, we'll have a respectful, you know, dialogue. I'm all about that. You know, I think Adam Carolla sometimes makes fun of, you know, how they always put it on the press, like, oh, let's have a dialogue, blah, blah. I'm all about dialogue. We'll talk about dialogue. Now, if I don't agree with it, yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of a certain side sometimes want to shout you down and shout you down and shout you down. And I just want to say, I'm okay. I've said this before. Okay, with the whole, you know,
I'm gay.
Going to colleges, and I don't care. I really don't care if an alt left or alt right goes to a college. I can stand there maybe and say, this is I disagree with this, but don't stop me from, if I want to see the alt left guy and then maybe tomorrow the alt right guy, let me watch him and I'll decide, you know, if who I like, and that's it. Let us decide.
Well, I think that's like folks don't realize, and I do this myself, like I have to correct myself, but once you label yourself, once you allow yourself to be labeled, whenever an issue comes up, you don't start at 0. You start at plus 10 on your side. And now it's the other side that's minus 10 that is in a position where they have to convince you to come back to 0. It's like, no, you should start on 0 on every issue, you know, and kind of, you know, base your opinion on your beliefs and your whatever belief structure you have, but like start at 0. So many people like start off with like, now Rush Limbaugh's dead. I really didn't listen to him, but like,
oh, he's dead.
Like, yeah, he died a year or two ago.
Right.
Pills or
probably.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he was past that part, but I'm not really sure. But I'm just the example would be like, before I can think anything for myself, I must tune in to my side to see what they say. I have to wait for that talking points email to come out this morning before I can really, you know, like
yeah, and you know the people that watch it too, because they hit all the key words.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it comes mainly from, I've never been more conservative ever in my life. I feel like I'm a hardcore right winger only because the left has moved so far radically to the.
Yeah, these are relative terms. You're right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and the idea of me describing myself as a conservative.
Yeah. You're a big time atheist, aren't you?
Word, I'm not actually. I'm not an atheist. I'm agnostic, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't that. Anyway,
Mhm,
we've talked about it before. We basically believe in this. We believe in an origin. We believe it went down differently. There's actually not that much of a difference there. But
There's a lot of people that are probably labeled right wingers now that were liberals 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And then, but
Yeah.
your whole, and like you open up the internet every day and you just find yourself being like, whoa, slow down.
And if I think
men can't get pregnant. Slow down.
I think Chris, you do a lot of Twitter, right? Or you read a lot of Twitter. If
sometimes in spurts, yeah.
Right. If you look at some of these tweets that some of these politicians or even celebrities will tweet out sometimes, whenever it's the hot topic, like kind of Jaden was saying, they'll usually pick like one or two keywords and they have to throw it in that tweet. I'm like, oh, I just read that word on like two other tweets before you. So they have to stick to those words. And that's also what I don't like. Like, I'm not going to stick to your words. Don't worry. I'm not going to,
Yeah,
I don't want
Elon,
when Trump got elected, all of a sudden bigot was the most popular word in the world.
Yeah.
I think there's something very similar with Elon Musk as there was with Trump, where there are a lot of people that were just kind of like, paying attention just surface level, that were real big fans of his, right?
Yeah.
Like despite whatever, like kind of like, like dust up and get into here and there on like on social media or whatever. Some, like some minor controversies, like they really like him. And it was kind of the same thing with Trump. Like he was a very popular figure. Like American society tolerated him 100%. Like
they didn't just tolerate him; they
rewarded him. Yeah,
he was in rap songs and shit.
Yes,
people rapped about it in the 80s.
Yeah, he's part of popular culture.
It was Democrats that were fucking. And once again, I don't have a fucking dog in the fight. It's just true. It was
they're watching The Apprentice.
Democrats that were rooting for him and wanting him to be president. By the way, just on the Elon Musk note, I got drunk. We had sushi night the other night. We went to this sushi place. I got wasted. Walked into a Tesla store and I said, "Give me a fucking Cybertruck." And she's like, "They're like not even out yet." I was like, "What? What the fuck are you talking about? I saw that thing like a year ago. I don't care if it's not bulletproof. I don't need it to be bulletproof. That was a big hammer.
I know you got one."
And I was like, and she's
I
like,
want that one.
But they're on back order. So I was legitimately gonna trade in my truck and get a Cybertruck, even though they're dog dick fucking ugly.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we talked about this. The perfect person right now would be someone that just signed a lease or a loan on a Tesla, because they were like, this is pre him buying Twitter, because he was still like a popular figure that, despite some minor controversies was very popular, like very, progressive and all that. And
he used to be green.
Yeah. And then you also,
now he's red.
You're an attorney that works for abortion rights in Florida, like LGBTQ rights. You just got a big job at like a Planned Parenthood, and then you just signed a lease on a Tesla.
Yeah.
And then your world just comes crashing down around you. That's like, now Tesla's evil.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is bad.
It's a good thing.
Now you're part of the problem.
He's the king of deflection, because I guess doesn't he have to testify? Because he started fucking Amber Heard.
Yeah.
At some point, I don't know if he's supposed to testify, but he's like, "Hey, you know what? Look over here. I'm gonna fucking buy."
He's got good attorneys and people, and I think he's got some sense to him, because he's like, yeah, I gotta figure out a way to like have that known, but also control it and be like, I'm not Johnny Depp.
Apparently him and James
She didn't
Franco.
shit in my bed. She didn't shit in my bed.
I think they were going to call him, Elon Musk, and James Franco. I don't know whatever happened. I don't know if they can just say no, because apparently she was having an affair with James Franco, but I don't know if he can just say, I don't want to testify.
I think those people have people that are willing to stonewall and do whatever it takes to not have it ever happen. And then the attorneys on the other side are just like, okay, this trial can only last so long. And
yeah, how does that work?
These people are never going to show up.
Like if somebody called me to testify, I guess it doesn't really, one way or the other.
If you got called to Congress because they're like, this unimpressive podcast you're running is a problem, national security threat. If you got called, like, you would have to show up. But if you had
coming any day,
if you had, millions of dollars and were well connected, you would just have there would be a law firm that would come to you and be like, you don't even have to pay me. I will represent you, and I'll make sure you never have to go in there. You don't have to pay me because someone else will pay me on your behalf. You know.
So you're saying that you can pay enough to, if you're summoned in a, well, because it's just a state thing right now with,
yeah, if you have
like
you
North
just need
Carolina
to
or something.
you need to have enough money to hire lawyers with big enough balls to where they're just like, no government, no, sorry. And not no, but like my client had wings the other night and has explosive diarrhea. We will not be able to show up for this case for 10 months.
No, the only what
they hire a doctor. Sorry, but they hire a doctor that sees your client and say, my client has irritable bowel syndrome. It's 12 months tops before they can face the stress of a trial.
Yeah, but this
and
guy
you hire lawyers that have no shame.
Sell me a fart fan O-ring, but until then, no. You know who Elon Musk called? He made one phone call. Mark Garagos.
For real?
Yes.
Okay. I'm down. I think Elon Musk probably has like a dozen Mark Garagoses.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Robotic.
Yeah.
They're just like, there's 20 different options to delay you having to appear in court. And we'll just put one lawyer on every option, filing motion after motion that takes up so much time that the other side doesn't have the money to like fight everything or to last that long.
I think, who I think should be who should appear on his behalf, Elon Musk, Kyle Dunnigan on screen in court.
Does he do Elon Musk?
He does.
Does he really? I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is pretty good. Does he do Jeff Goldblum at all?
Oh yeah, for sure. He does.
Oh, dude, I love that. I couldn't remember if that was him that did it.
Yeah, he does that. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. It'd be great if Elon Musk just went in there, and I feel like Elon Musk is the one guy that would do this. If he just went in there and they're like, "So what was your relationship?" and he's just he's like, "What?" They're like, "What was your relationship with Mrs. Heard?" and he's like, "I raw dogged her drunkenly in a laundromat." Straight up.
Yeah, be like, I met her and I found her sexually attractive, and so I therefore told my people to contact her people to arrange a date because I once again I found her sexually attractive, and like I'm a man.
They contacted my penis and my penis contacted her vagina.
Yeah, and he'd just sit there like, would you like me to explain the biological response in a male when he sees a female that he finds attractive? Like, as we can get into the science of it, he'd be willing to kind of
fallopian tube and esophagus.
Yeah, he'd be willing to play that game, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That would be fucking great. Get this guy in there and he just fucking, I feel like he's the guy that would do that, right?
I think there's like a similarity where like this person was like really popular for very surface level reasons, right? Entertaining, like electric cars, there's a lot, surface level being electric cars are great. The mines that they have in Africa or wherever around the world, in China, that get the materials out of the ground to make the batteries, not so great, but like surface level, this is a really beautiful thing, and progress and the environment, electric cars, auto driving cars, blah 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 blah, spaceships, free internet, Starlink, all good things. But all of a sudden he wants to buy Twitter, and he's the devil.
Oh yeah,
he's
a threat to democracy.
He was great when he was fighting fossil fuels, the consumption of fossil fuels. But as soon as he believes in actual free speech,
he's a threat to democracy. Threat to our way of life. It's like the same thing happened to Donald Trump.
I mean, it was a little different. It's a little different.
Big time different, but very similar. Like this guy was part of the culture, accepted, but definitely not a pariah. Giving money to all groups, like left, right, everybody.
He was an asshole, but he wasn't actually as radical as you would think. And that's why I was telling, Dylan the other night when he's like, there's two sides to every story. He's like, you don't like Biden. He's like, I don't like Trump, but the media mixes things up and all this and that. And I was like, yeah, exactly. That's why I'm telling you. It was because he doesn't understand. He's 28. He doesn't realize. I don't think he realizes that how popular Donald Trump was for a long time. And I'm not even a Trumper. I'm just
Well,
like,
they
give credit where
realize
credit's due. You know.
a lot of liberals realized this the day that Biden was sworn in. Like before that, I was like, no, this doesn't happen. There's no media bias. There's no framing. There's no, there's no money involved in news. But then, like, as soon as Joe Biden's in, it's like, oh, they're just framing things against him, and
Yeah. I actually have to get rolling soon. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, we've been going.
So we should.
We've been going a while.
Yeah, we're trying to beat Rogan in the podcasting time limit game.
Yeah, what's his name? He was saying this is a record that I've never done a 2-hour podcast. We've done plenty of 2-hour podcasts, I feel.
Oh,
like.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I think so.
You got to tune
Even if
in to
it
the
didn't-
early.
Some of them
and
got
the
edited
streamers.
down, so maybe the audio version wasn't 2 hours, but I appreciate them sticking around. So to all you people watching, we fucking love y'all.
Yeah.
These
Big
guys.
time.
I wish I could. I want to respond to everyone, but it's like you can't really. These people say funny shit.
I wish I had the ability to read all the comments and be in the moment, but I just can't. It's like so. Maybe I'll get better at it, but I just keep it off. I don't keep it on screen because it's so. I don't know. Yeah.
It's good fodder. I mean, it's good to see what they're saying. I mean, they say a lot of useful shit. It's just usually somebody else is talking, and then you see some good comments, and so it's hard to sort of be like, "Hey, that guy." I'll try to respond, but I'm terrible at typing. But
Yeah, I think we can get better at that.
yeah, Robbie's really good at it. I'm not that great at it, but
I gotta work on it because sometimes it'll look like I'm on my phone, which I think I hate the fact that on Lynette's episode you can see me on my phone, but I'm usually responding to people on YouTube. I got to figure out, but I got to do it on my computer, and you'll see me kind of typing and all that stuff. But I'm paying attention to
no, that's
everybody.
good to stay engaged. That's
For sure.
That's why you're fucking Robbie Spotlight.
Yep.
Jaden.
We'll wrap it up. We really, like Jaden said, we really appreciate you guys sticking with us. It's good to just kind of talk free form. Last week we had a plan for an episode, but things didn't work out. So this week we're just going to spitball it and see what we talk about. Always good to talk to Jaden.
Yeah, it's always great to catch up.
Hell yeah.
Do unimpressive thing,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
really.
I'm trying to get an episode of TTR.
I'm building a list of things that I'm unimpressed by.
Yeah, that's good.
I got to work on my list. Yeah,
I got a list too.
It's like never ending
list. I always have a list handy, but I fucking love talking to you guys. I love these viewers. Always have useful shit to say, like interesting shit to say.
Yeah.
Of course, Sean. I feel bad I hung up on him, but
no.
No, we lost connection. Yeah,
he's just gonna. That just means he's gonna try. He's persistent. He'll just try even harder next time.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, it was only half me hanging up on him because he started getting mouthy, but it was also in trying to take my idea. That was his actually, but it was also I only have one line, so it's not like. Would we even hear if somebody's calling? Like, how it does that little beep? I don't know. I didn't hear that. So I don't know if anybody tried to call. I only have one line.
I heard some beeps. I wonder. I don't know. I get so many beeps going off all the time. My phone, my watch, computer, whatever. Now I've started to tune out the beeps and then I miss things.
My new shit is do not disturb. I just keep my phone on do not disturb. I'm gonna look at it eventually, and I'll message you back. I communicate with it like for work. I have to text all the time. I see, just so people know, maybe this is putting myself out there. I don't know who's watching, but if you text me, I see it pretty quickly. It's just whether or not I'm like physically my hands are busy, or if I don't know how to respond or whatever. So I see every text usually immediately because I'm texting back and forth with clients and stuff. So
there's a weird thing I think where I get text messages or messenger messages and they pop up on my watch, like the whole message. I'll read it, but I know like it doesn't show that I read it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
It
if you
okay.
doesn't.
can't
It
respond,
doesn't
you
show,
can't
but
respond. You're busy,
I've seen it. I probably saw it like when it first came in, but I just wasn't able to respond or get online or whatever. And
Yeah, I won't see it when it first comes in. I don't want to get an Apple Watch because I know I'm just gonna scratch it. I'm gonna fuck it up, whatever. But either way, they are badass. Everybody I know, I feel like has one.
I've had the same one for like maybe 4 years.
I think they're terrible.
No. I think I
No,
want
I
to
got all
start
kinds
wearing
of pulses and shit. It hit
Yeah.
my wrist all the time, and then like something like a text message that's important comes in, and I don't
Sure.
get it because I got all kinds of like, you install a new app on your phone, all of a sudden like it's just automatically getting notifications on your watch, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't have that. But-
Yeah. I might.
and then
I might
also
go
it's
old
like,
school.
what does it do?
Mhm.
Like it tells you what your like your schedule. Like
Yeah, your
you have a-
steps.
You have a phone call. Like, okay, well, I have a thing in my pocket that's also
Yeah.
vibrating.
Yeah.
It's like all it really is like a Fitbit, but it just feels
Yeah.
better. Feels better or
Yeah.
something.
Even though I think
And
I like the Fitbit watch better, to be honest with you. If you, as far as steps and all that stuff, I liked it better. At least I understand it more easily. Yeah.
And then also, there's also somebody at Apple that knows exactly where I am at all times, 24/7.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
you
feel like they
disappear.
do that with the phones anyway, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
go anywhere without my phone, but
Or now it's like measuring my heartbeat at any time. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
not only did I know you're at the
Fellas.
mall, but
It's
I
late
noticed
here in Texas. It's early over there.
I noticed
All right.
that. Yeah, I noticed that when you walk by Spencer Gifts in the mall, your heartbeat went up.
Yeah. By the way, I had to grab my robe because it's kind of cold in here. I keep my
Oh
house.
shoot. Yeah.
For some reason, I just got cold. I keep my house at 66 degrees. All
Yeah,
of a sudden, I got cold, and so I just grabbed my robe.
Yeah, that's a good sign to wrap up when people.
Well,
get their
let me
robes on.
do the socials. I'm gonna do
Okay.
the socials and all right. Those who want to catch up with Jaden, check him out on Instagram. His handle is I don't know if you've got just one, but it's at Curious FM Music, which is Curious_FM_music. You can also check him out on his YouTube channel, Time Travel Radio. He also has his podcast, Unimpressive, the Unimpressive Show
Unimpressive podcast.
podcast.
I'm done
like-
with the word podcast, by the way.
I know that's
Something
why.
called a
That's why
show.
I remembered that. I don't like. I know you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
you're-
think the
you're-
iPod is officially going to be discontinued now.
Yeah.
No more
yeah.
iPads. No more iPods.
iPods. That's
no
right.
more
Yeah.
podcast. It's a fucking what we're doing right now is basically internet radio. There's a
Oh, for
number on
sure.
there you call if you want.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's internet.
That's awesome.
So it's a web show.
It's a web show. Let's do this. The web show.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Curious_FM_music, Time Travel Radio on YouTube. Unimpressive. Check it out where you can find all the podcasts and shows online. If you want to check us out on Instagram at Endless Ranters Podcast, just follow us at Endless Ranters Podcast. Feel free to check us out.
In France, it's Endless Ranters.
That's right. Twitter. If you're a Twitter person, go find us at Endless Ranters. If you want to join in on the conversation any time of the day of the week, memes and all that stuff, join us on our Facebook page, the Endless Ranters Podcast. Just search us. There's a couple easy questions. We'll let you in. If you want to check out Chris on Twitter, he is at Grateful Red 1. That is Grateful Red, the number 1. Check him out on Twitter. Mole Man, he had some technical difficulties, but if you want to check him out on Instagram and Twitter, it is How We Figure, at How We Figure, and his podcast, How We Figure. If you want to check me out, I am on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, YouTube, Robbie Spotlight. Just search Robbie Spotlight. You'll find me. I have
There's only one.
There's only one. And I have, I think, 2 videos on YouTube, which I opened it like a year ago. So check me out, Robbie Spotlight. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening. I don't know, Chris, if you want to say anything else.
No, we'll wrap it up. It's been a great night. Appreciate it. Thanks for everybody joining in. Thanks for listeners that it will listen to this in their headphones, in their car, or whatever. Thanks to Jaden for joining. And thanks for Jaden for joining a couple weeks ago when I was out. Thanks for Robbie as always. Manny, good luck with all your technical difficulties. This is Chris saying, get it on.
This is Rob. Get it on.
This is Jaden. Get it on.
Should I? I'm going to record. I'm not going to go live, but then I'm going to record an opener.
Yeah, because we